emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Carol Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh.
Good morning or good evening, and the warmest of welcomes to Guerrilla Cricket and the third of the 5 T20 internationals between New Zealand and England. We're in the geographical centre of New Zealand, the splendid Saxon Oval in Nelson, which was built in 2009, replacing its predecessor at Trafalgar Park. And today, England expects every man to do rather better than they did in Wellington a couple of nights ago. There, well, England's only tribute to the great Admiral was from James Vince, whose catching certainly resembled that of a man with one arm and one eye. 5 drop catches in all. Captain Morgan was brought to question his players' desire. James Vince even made his way to the wicket carrying 2 left gloves, which seemed to summarise the shambles of England's display. New Zealand, by contrast, were excellent. Runs for Guptill and Nishan, wickets for Santner and Sodhi, and catches aplenty, 4 in fact, for Colin de Grandhomme. I'm at Tony Bishop 1, and with me are, wrestling with the idiosyncrasies of the jingle machine, welcome back to Jason Hiscox.
Hello.
How you doing, Jace? All right?
I'm good. I apologise in advance for any coughing that may occur.
Well, you and me are going to be coughing at each other, I think, tonight. We're both wrestling with something.
You're just going to reinforce my cold, are you?
I'll do my best. And reading tweets and other messages, a very warm welcome indeed to a new face and voice, cricket feature writer and reporter John Batham. Hello, John.
Good evening, gents.
Now,
Good evening, everyone.
You are an ECB accredited freelancer, familiar face in the Middlesex dressing room, having been the county's correspondent for Trinity Mirror Southern, aren't you? Or have been, or still are?
Yeah, guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. Well, you are very welcome. So let's get to business. What of tonight? Well, most importantly of all, the toss. And Tim Southey has actually been successful. He's won the toss. New Zealand will bat, as indeed they did at the Cake Tin. They're going to do that first. We will give you the team news. Just the one change, really, for New Zealand. Blair Tickner comes in, Daryl Mitchell is out. So they line up as Guptill Munro, Seifert wicketkeeper, Ross Taylor, Colin de Grandhomme, Blair Tickner, Mitchell Santner, Jimmy Neesham, Tim Southey, Lockie Ferguson and Ish Sodhi. England, as we said they would, are ringing the changes. Tom Banton, the star of, or one of the stars of Somerset's T20 Blast campaign this year. He brings his and their 50 over win.
He was destructive in that.
He was still. Well, we hope he can bring some of that destructive capacity to the Saxon Oval tonight. So Milan will be opening, the new Yorkshireman, and obviously a Trent Rocket till he dies. Dawid Milan, Tom Banton, James Vince, Morgan, Billings, Gregory, Sam Curran, Tom Curran, Saqib Mahmood, Matt Parkinson gets to twirl his arm for the first time in this series, and Pat Brown from Worcestershire continues. So that's how they line up. We are ready to go. The players are out there on the beautiful Saxton Oval, right in that northern tip of the South Island. The Tasman Bay away to the left of the ground, the mountains in the background, part of that Saxton Sports Complex. It looks quite splendid. And it's our friend the weirdo, Colin Munro, who will take first strike. And to open the bowling for England is going to be Sam Curran, who's going through his knee bend exercises.
Is he a better bowler? Sam Curran. What's his distinguishing feature? Sam Curran. His dad's from Zimbabwe. Sam Curran. And he's beloved by Liz Yates. Sam Curran.
I can tell you it's pretty breezy, and
oh, you do surprise me.
You surprise me. Curran's
in the windy aisle.
Coiffure is getting quite a rustling.
He's going to need more bill cream on that.
He is going to need something. Well, Colin Munro, the left-hander, crouchy stance, and is immediately pulling this away to square leg. He will be off and running from the off. New Zealand are away. Munro moves on to one. New Zealand move on to one. And Martin Guptill, who got himself 40 odd, didn't he, at the cake tin,
yep.
But has been a little out of sorts, and I think he will certainly be looking for
well, that was
some
certainly
runs tonight.
Overly aggressive to start off.
Not overly aggressive, or was it?
No, very overly aggressive. He was advancing down the wicket, and he
Well,
had a
he
massive
was.
swipe at it.
Well, I think they
just got the inside edge to go through square
want
leg.
to stamp their authority on this game early on. Sam Curran once again is going to be in. He's coming left arm over the wicket, and Guptill. Oh, well, he just sort of stood tall and just pushed this to mid-on, but it went under James Vince, whose travails in the field seem to be continuing. He didn't stop it, and it got Guptill off the mark. And to be honest, that was a bit of a freebie for Guptill there.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there, Vince. I think that was well timed, and Guptill is one that can always time the ball well. I mean, he's the New Zealand James Vince.
Well, we can expect 30 odd and nicking behind. Curran again, studying concentration, worked off his legs nicely by Munro. This time, diving away is Matt Parkinson. So he's nicely in the game. He's the man there at back of square leg, or if you kind of prefer it, sort of short fine leg, I suppose.
And since they've changed strike again, I should give the other batsman his jingle.
Was this Martin?
This little piggy went to market, and this little piggy stayed at home. Martin Guptill.
Indeed. He's the man of two toes. Curran again. He has that bustly run up, doesn't he? Left arm forward, lofted magnificently over mid-wicket. One bounce over the fence, 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, John. Well, welcome, John. We'll try and chat. If this were a test match, we'd have plenty of time to chat about you, your career, your playing career, your journalist career, what brought you to Gorilla. We'll try and tackle one or two of those questions, but most importantly, this is a statement of real intent from New Zealand, isn't it? Right from the off.
Yeah, absolutely. But then, I mean, would we expect anything else from Martin Guptill?
No, we wouldn't. Well, let's see what he's got in store this time. Curran's in. This is just worked off his legs, dropped down to square leg, and they will take another single. So 7 from the over. Sorry, 8. I beg your pardon. 4 singles and that lofted 4 over mid-wicket. 8 without loss are New Zealand. Munro on 2, Guptill on 6. We're looking at a lovely
very
picture
sweet picture of a young
family sat on one of those.
very young cricket supporter.
That's right. Get him in early. Get him in early. He'll be supporting the 100 before he knows it, poor lad. In comes Curran. It might have been a girl, of course. That one's a better ball, but took Munro quite high up the pads, and I'm assuming that's leg by. It just sort of squirted away into the offside and was indeed a leg by. So 9 without loss.
We've got any people joined us?
I was just literally about to ask that between overs.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be one or two comments about the jingles, actually.
Oh dear.
Mog has joined us.
Hello, Mog.
And says, to be honest, the big attraction of this match for me is which of the rumoured 71 Tickner jingles will get played. And somebody
Tune in to find out.
George Pope has joined us via YouTube. Evening George or Morning George, or whichever, and says these jingles are very corny and fun, almost as funny though as the jokes in Christmas crackers, he says.
Well, you could take that two ways.
Couldn't you really?
Damned with faint praise, or a genuine compliment.
Perhaps George will tell us which he intended. Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be
it's double Curran.
It's double Curran attack. It's going to be brother Tom,
Big
who is going to take it up. He's playing his 14th T20 International.
We'll jingle him up after this first.
We will. Slightly more fluid run than Sam somehow, doesn't he? And that one is worked away into the leg side. It's away to mid-on. And it's another single for Munro, who's dealing in singles, is Colin Munro. Guptill's the man who's been looking to blaze a trail and find the fence. Wasp has already decided that 180 should be about the mark that New Zealand are likely to land. That wouldn't surprise me the way they've started.
Having been 9 for 1 after 1 over, I'm surprised.
9 for none. Well, exactly. You good old Wasp is.
Anyway, here's his jingle.
The most effectual top cat, whose intellectual close friends get to poverty sea.
Right arm over he comes, and that's a good full ball. And Guptill stands tall and just plays a classic defensive shot. I'm venturing that we may not see too many of those tonight, but we saw one there. This really is a beautiful setting, isn't it? You have the mountains away to one side, the sea away to the other.
They do have some absolutely glorious
Well, they
grounds.
are, and our cameraman is giving us a little bit of a panoramic tour. There's a lovely pavilion there as well in this comparatively new stadium. Oh, and there's a swing from Guptill, swing and a miss, and through to Sam Billings behind the stumps. So Guptill, I think you called it right, John. He's not going to hang around, is he?
No, absolutely not. I think he's decided he's just going to stand and deliver, isn't he?
Well, there wasn't much footwork in that shot.
No.
It was just a big front foot waft.
It was indeed, yeah. It was just stand and deliver, and it was looking. He was looking to put that back over young TC's head. Curran again with that sort of Groucho Marxy start to his run that he has. This one's straying onto leg and flicked off his legs by Guptill. It's away down past long leg. There's no chasing that, and it's another boundary for Guptill. Yes, neither Curran quite hitting their straps just yet. That one was easy enough for Guptill just to steer around the corner, and neither square leg or long leg had really much chance of intercepting it. Curran's giving it again, 5 from the over so far. This one's full, flicked again around the corner, and same result. It's 4 more down to long leg. Well, we may have a duet of Currans, but they're not particularly in tune just yet.
Well, it's not a great line, but he is very unlucky to just squeeze it just past the fine leg up on the bottom.
Yeah, who was the fine leg there?
I mean, he's barely got a bat on that, and it's gone very fine.
Beautifully done. I should also probably tell you who your umpires are for this evening. But we'll wait for Curran to come in. That one is just the bat dropped on it by Guptill. Pushed away to Mid-on, they take an easy single. Guptill will keep the strike. That's 10 from the over, 19 without a loss after 2. How are we doing on tweets there, John?
Well, Pirate Badger has joined us.
Hey,
morning to him. He says, morning comrades from a Dublin where the water is literally undrinkable. Oh well, whiskey it is then. A little bit early for me, I don't know about you guys, but...
So, I don't know, even at 1 o'clock starts, you don't really know whether to consider it late or early.
No, quite.
Depends whether you've been out, I suppose.
It's going to be a long day either way.
It is, it is.
And Dr. Cooper's on as well.
Oh, hello. Are you all right? Headphones are flying.
Yeah, Dr. Cooper's on as well. He says, delighted to be along for the ride once again from the thumb of Michigan.
Hello from the thumb of Michigan. Well, we had a conversation about that whilst we were commentating on events that Kate did. A change of bowling, by the way. Mahmood is being brought into the attack. He did take a little bit of tap. And this, he's going to... Oh, well. Guptill was looking to pull that back over his head, and he edged it down through fine leg for 4. So... you've got to feel a little bit for Mahmood there, but it's still 4 more for the total for New Zealand.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, he was down the track. He was looking over long leg or cow corner was Guptill, and what he got was the streakiest of edges through third man. This one he has picked up over mid wicket. 1 bounce, 4 more. That's 2 consecutive boundaries off Mahmood, who's finding out the hard way about international T20 cricket, I think.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
This seems to me almost a slightly different New Zealand mentally than the first match. England seems so on top
let out the box.
They've very much been let out the box. In comes Mahmood. What's he got? Well, he's got down leg, and it's the easiest shot in the world for Guptill to just flick it off his thigh for yet another 4. So 12 of 3 deliveries from Mahmood, and he needs to find his range.
There's not one ball for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
His Lancashire teammate was the man who ostensibly was potentially closest to getting it down there at fine leg, but was never in the game. So New Zealand have raced to 31 without loss. Munro on 3, Guptill been doing most of the damage. In's Mahmood again, and this one is, well, better from Mahmood's perspective, and it's not a 4, it's just flicked away to mid wicket for just a single from Guptill, who's probably gone for a breather, and he's brought Colin Munro, who's progressed at the speed of an asthmatic snail compared to the Usain Bolt-like approach of Martin Guptill.
Has Guptill not had 5 boundaries in his last 6 deliveries?
Well, he's had, let me see, that's a good question, we'll have a look in a moment. Mahmood, right arm over. Munro pushes this away to wide-ish mid-on. They take another single. Guptill will be back on strike, and that could mean that for poor Mahmood, the misery is not yet over. 4, 4, 4 and 2 singles he's gone for. You could argue that that's dragging it back to a certain extent.
There's those 3 4s in that over, and then there's 2 4s in the previous over.
Yeah,
down the leg side. So I think he has had 5 4s in 6 or 7 balls.
He has. Yes, he's been working that flick to leg very effectively. This one, though, is more wristily flicked to long on. Just a single. He will keep the strike. And poor Mahmood's gone for 15 off his first over and got no small amount of treatment. How are we doing there, John? Have we got some more messages coming our way?
Yeah, at Tom O'Pollett has messaged us and said, "Evening Gorillas, what do you think the chances are of New Zealand getting a big 200?"
Well, at this rate,
shorter
high,
than they were.
England showing a little bit, in a way, the experimentation that was going to happen within this squad. They are effectively using this as a game to look at fringe players, shall we say, and there's an element of risk in that. at the end of the day, I don't think they'll be too concerned. We are going to see Worcestershire's finest, Pat Brown.
He won't bowl. No. He's fast.
Bowled so well on T20 finals day. He's right arm over. He's bowling to Guptill, and immediately he's on the money. And Guptill kind of got that off his elbow. Billings tried to kick at the stumps, missed the stumps completely. They've taken a single. I think they would have. Monroe would have been safely home anyway.
Oh, given his reaction, I'm not sure he would have been.
Well, we're going to have another look for you. That's a very good point, Jason. Yeah, Guptill got in a right old tangle. Just a little bit of extra pace from Pat Brown, I think. And I think he was home. Billings, some quite nifty footwork. But I really don't think Monroe is in too much danger. There's a conflab between Owen Morgan and his bowler, Pat Brown. Beautiful mountains away in the background. He's bowling, I think, towards the, I'll tell you in a moment, this one's flicked off his leg again. Round the corner by Monroe. They will just take one. Guptill will be back onto strike to, hopefully for him, continue on his destructive and merry way.
I'm
bowling towards the city end, I think.
I'm unsure at the moment whether this is bad bowling or just a very flat, true pitch and good batting.
Well, it's going to be an early season pitch in New Zealand, isn't it? So, in a way, you wouldn't be expecting there to be too much pace on it. I'm just not sure England particularly have bowled very well yet. Pat Brown's going to be in again. He's bowling his second ball, and it's a dot ball. And again, he's found his length beautifully. Oh, was that a?
That was a one-handed wave for a dot ball, because I don't think we've seen many so far.
Triumphant wave. I thought you had something particular you wanted to say there, Jason. Your arm shot up. I thought, blimey, this must be an important point. You either want to be excused or you have something really important to tell the class. Anyway, 36 without loss. We're halfway through the fourth over. Brown is rolling his shoulders. He's in. Short, pulled. That is one bounce for past square leg. That's another boundary for the irrepressible Martin Guptill. By Jove, he doesn't need twice asking, John, does he, at the moment, does Guptill?
No, but then we're feeding them a lot of hittable deliveries. That's the problem. I mean, the problem that Mahmood seemed to be having in the last over was that he had fine leg and third man up, and he's bowling too full, and they're just...
In comes Brown again. This one's very aerial. How is there someone underneath it? Everyone's praying it's not James Vince, and it is brilliantly taken by Tom Curran. Yeah, squirted it away, did Monroe, up to kind of extra cover. Tom Curran was running, looking back over his shoulder. It was a very, very difficult catch.
That's nicely bowled. That's a knuckle ball.
Monroe was looking, I think, to go probably over the inside out, as we say. Curran was watching it like a hawk, and safe enough. Slides on his knees. Pat Brown has his wicket. New Zealand are one down. They would have loved it to have been... it was Guptill. I thought it was Monroe.
No?
No, it was Martin Guptill. Well, that is a big wicket then. It would have been a big wicket anyway, but it's definitely a big wicket.
I think we can
40
say
for one.
That one guy's eyes were definitely on the ball, and one guy's eyes were just looking at it in the sky.
Yes.
As he wished he'd hit it slightly flatter and further.
Yes. You know what he was attempting, but it just didn't work. Three field. Curran, actually, you've really got to hand it to him there. Because
it's a very good catch.
It was a fantastic running catch. He had two other fielders converging on him. One was Captain Owen Morgan, who kind of very quickly pulled out of the chase when he realised he wasn't going to get close. But England have their breakthrough, and boy, they were rather needing it.
And it brings
Tim Seifert to
Tim, he's not so dim. Tim, he works out at the
suppose he does, because most professional cricketers do. I don't know if he's particularly known as a bodybuilder. In comes Brown. Ooh, that's... Well, there's an extraordinary shout for LBW because it looks too high and also going down leg. But what was most important to me about that ball was it was full and it really hurried the new batsman up, didn't it?
Got a bit of lift as well, I think, off the leg. So
He did.
That's
got
what's
some, yeah.
I think has troubled both Guptill and Seifert a little bit. Is he's getting lift because he's got a very tall action.
Yeah, and a lot of that's true actually. And he's got so many variations, doesn't he, which he deploys in sort of domestic T20 blast activity. And it's served him well. It's got him a wicket, which England were in desperate need of. How are we doing on tweets and various messages, John?
Well, Imran Khan on the on YouTube before that wicket fell actually posted in and said England to win by 8 wickets. So I don't know whether he knew something that we don't.
Well, Tom Curran,
or that we didn't.
Tom Curran is going to be continuing. He's bowling his second over, right arm over, and Munro just tickles this away to leg. Tom Curran is quick to sprint round and field off his own bowling. And there was another single, 41 for 1 off 4 overs, so they're going on at just a shade over 10 and over.
Well, going pretty much exactly 10.
Exactly 10 and over, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Munro on 6, Seifert, the new batsman, faced just the 1 ball so far. Sturdy right arm, very capable of giving it some Humpty when he needs to. Flicked off his legs to mid-wicket. James Vince diving away to his right. Quick throw, no, and just a single. 42 for 1. There'll be a change of the guard commentary-wise at the end of this over. I can't remember who's doing what.
I imagine there's going to be a stampede through the door shortly to tell us.
There will be. Thank you, Jason. But it'll certainly be 2 new voices, I would imagine.
One very distinctive voice.
Well, indeed, the mighty bear. Oh, and this one's top edged. It's going to be taken. It is taken by Sir Clay Mahmood. Curran has his wicket. This time Munro has gone. He was looking to, I think he was looking to pull it away to leg. He got an edge. It went up to effectively kind of short third man. In came Sir Clay Mahmood. Diving catch, but he always looked favourite to achieve that.
And it's the second slower ball that's taken a wicket.
It was another slower ball.
This time it's one of those roll your fingers over them ball rather than a knuckleball.
Full marks to... so England, who's catching at the cake tin, was an absolute festival of fumbles. Tonight has been superb. 2 out of 2 and both excellent catches.
Oops, got that one. Try...
Well, it wasn't. No, it definitely wasn't.
Well, I think this one's appropriate then.
There we go with this one. What is it? Oh, you silly.
That's for me.
Very good indeed.
And this one for the wicket.
It's almost like a toe end, John, wasn't it, in a way? Kind of, it's hard to see whether it's an edge or a toe end. It just seemed to catch a little bit of everything on.
Well, I think the really interesting thing is going to be when after 6 overs have gone and the spinners come on, because I think this wicket is showing every signs of gripping and stopping.
Well, indeed, and it brings to the crease one of our favourite cricketers.
Oh, we must get his
the
jingle
man
in.
with the magnificent jingle, Monsieur le Grandhomme. And we'll let this ball come in, and then we'll try and give you the full benefit of his magnificent jingle after this. And this one beats the outside edge by Curran. Just a little bit of a shade of a wade movement. It was through to Billings. Tell us about Monsieur de Grandhomme.
I turned to look, but I was gone. I cannot see my own reflection now. My body's gone, my face is gone. Become
the Grandhomme, and Colin de Grandhomme has worked this away. Well, he's powered this away through mid-wicket for 4. inspired by Pink Floyd and the magnificence of his jingle, Curran just strayed enough onto middle stump, and de Grandhomme was quick as a flash to whip it away through mid-wicket for 4.
It's me, Sanshi. It's me, Sanshi.
A bottle of beer has appeared around the corner, closely followed by the substantial figure of the bear. Curran, that was another slower ball. It's a wide. Down leg side. He was looking for the sort of slower ball Yorker, I think, was Curran. He kind of got it right in terms of its sort of deceptive floatiness, but directionally he got it horribly wrong. And it's an extra for New Zealand. They move on to 47 for 2. De Grandhomme hit the ground running with his first boundary. Seifert, just a single, yet to get really going. Curran, elbows pumping, right arm over, full, and again it's a well disguised slower ball but full, and de Grandhomme isn't able to time it. Curran gets a thumb on it from his own bowling. We are going to have a change. Who's doing what there?
Okay.
And where am I going? I'm gone. I will see you soon.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of jingle for us here in the move.
It's been too many overs on a little couch, just like an old biddy. They need to stretch and slouch. It's been a few overs coming, but to the sofa, change gon' come. Oh yes it is.
Ah, yes. Well, you know what? I went under 185 and a half. It's all right, Tone. I thought I'd left my vaping next door, but I haven't. It's in my pocket. Pat Brand is in. He's got 1 for 5 in his 1 over so far. Couldn't heel that back as it's hit by Seifert down the ground, but he doesn't get a single. And the score remains on 47 for 2. 2 brilliant catches. I thought Tom Curran's catch was outstanding.
Are you really surprised after the poor performance?
Well, I imagine they got
a beasting, I imagine, from Mr. Collingwood.
And rightly so. I mean, that was appalling catching the other day. And, well, it hasn't gone to James Vince yet. It's true.
No, he just missed 2 ground.
I think he's got an 18% catch ratio in his series so far. Slower ball by Pat Brown, just played out to Vince, who's at cover, who can field off the ground quite well, has to be said. Just can't catch a damn thing.
Muttley's joined us on Twitter here. He says, yes, come on England.
Yes, come on.
No woof for a change.
No woof. He did woof earlier. He's having sausages, aren't you? Sausages for the dogs. I went under 185, which, I think it's often teams get off to a start, few wickets fall, score ends up 160, 170 as it did the other day, and I'm betting on that today. That's a slower ball, driven hard and straight back down the ground. Good shot by Seifert, kept with the shot, out in the middle of the bat, straight back over the bowler's head. Mid off is up and wide, and it's 4 runs.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
A bit of a shovel, but kept with it, kept the shape, and went through with a shot. It came nicely out in the middle, and there isn't anyone
I still
straight.
think the interesting thing is how people are going to play the slow bowlers on this
Well,
wicket.
this is true, but we didn't. Adil's having a rest as well, isn't he? So we've only gone with a 1 spinner. Clipped into the leg side, which may be a mistake, out to mid wicket, and they will get no run.
You're not convinced then about the change?
No, it's not that I'm not convinced about the change, but if you think it's going to be grippy, maybe you should have gone with 2 spinners. Yeah.
Well, it depends on what kind of grip they think it's going to be, whether it's going to be more useful for bowlers bowling
it into the deck, blah blah blah. Yeah, true. But generally, if it helps for the cutters, it's quite good for the spinners too, especially the leggies, because they've got variation. If they've got a decent googly and a top spinner, and no one would have seen him, I'd doubt earlier. Slower ball, full. Oh, he's got a toe on it. Surely he's got a toe on that. It's out, isn't it?
I don't think he has.
I thought he got a toe on that. I thought Pat Brand got a toe as it went past and cannoned into the stumps.
He did absolutely muller that ball.
Oh no,
back.
he's nowhere near it. I thought there was a diversion. I thought, sorry, my eyesight's going.
Well done, the 12th fielder.
As well in many other things as I get older. But
saved 4 runs there, the stumps.
Yeah, it did indeed. Hit 2 straight, only 4 off the over. 4 dots and a 4. De Grandhomme was very destructive again the other night, wasn't he? He's got 4 off 3. Seifert 5 off 7. It's into the pitch. I think he's been pinged on the helmet. They're going to get through for a leg bar. Oh, that's a good shot with the outside the boot by Pat Brown. A bit like
very skillful.
Oxlade Chamberlain in the Champions League the other day. Smeared off the outside of his foot. Good control, hit the stumps, but they were through for the leg bar. I think
that was much better.
Pinged him in the grill, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Exactly.
I think it was off the
bat, wasn't it?
No, it was given as leg by, so I think it's off the chest into the grill.
Oh, okay.
But that's the end of the power play.
8 runs on over against 164, 10 runs on over against 192. I don't think I get 10 runs on over for the next 13 overs.
New Zealand
unlikely. Wicket
52.
So Wasp at 174. You're 180.
I'm on 185 and a half. I think
Sounds
under
good.
185 and a half.
If I remember correctly, the New Zealand were about 50 odd for something after their 6 and.
Well, this is
match,
the
I
thing,
think,
isn't
so
it? I mean, it's very easy when everyone's got
given
2 men
the
out.
gallop
You
they started
give it a
with.
bit of a hump to it at the beginning, and you connect, and suddenly things look really dangerous. But it's you can put it back. In a way, that's why it's such a shit game. But that's driven nicely by Seifert, but straight to the man on the edge of the circle. Who was? I couldn't see who that was. It's a current.
Another
It's a
current.
Tom
The currents
current.
everywhere, aren't they?
There are everywhere.
Ready for Mahmood's jingle?
Yes, give him that. What's that from? Oh dear, that's
Shot.
whacked down behind square, but it's one bounce. The man had been behind square, there'd been a catch, but he's dead square. He is on a boundary, but he can't get around to it. It's 4 runs. Is that the song from Convoy? Will I let me come?
What, the previous one?
Yes, I think it is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. With Chris Christopherson, I believe. Wasn't he the driver in that?
He was the driver.
Yeah. There you go. My useless knowledge of 70s movies. The Saki was in. Slow ball outside off some clumped square this time by the Grandhomme. And hits the space behind square. He's not having a good time, is he? He didn't have a good time the other day. And I haven't seen his express pace. And he's number 24, 1.3.
This might have been a tactical mistake to pick
To carry on
4
with it.
seamers.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Well, I'm not sure they've got a fill-in bowler that if they need to go to one though. That's the other worry.
Well, Gregory's a seamer, isn't he? Not a spinner.
He is, but he again is not express. But he has a bit, and he does bowl more at
Like
the depth.
maybe he bowls the cutters.
Of course,
I'm sure
we
they've
haven't got Rooty here.
Haven't they all, I mean, they've all got sort of variations now in T20. No matter where you play in the world, I imagine. Saki in it again. Sorry, Mahmood in again. That is a slower delivery. Cut his fingers across it. It's a big heave by the Grandhomme. He missed it.
It's a better
Billings, no run.
line though. It's wider, so he had to get his feet out to it.
Yeah, or you clear your feet and just give it a big hump to. And the problem is if it's just
But it's
6 inches, 12 inches outside the off stump.
It's a combination of direction and length that makes that one quite hard to hit.
Yeah, pace off as well, I think.
That was a pace off, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pace off. Mahmood in again.
Right,
Again,
that's
that's a
pace
little
on.
bit of a cutter, and that's much wider. And it is toe-ended. Good comeback by Mahmood. 2 dot balls in a row.
See if you can finish it off.
Leave it up to mid-off. Yeah, if you can finish it off, that's not so bad, I suppose, in the T20 era. 9 off and over. God, it's not much fun being a bowler in T20s. So, speaking of which, what are the rules for the 100? How many balls can you bowl in a row? 10 in a row, can't you? You have to have
No, I don't think so. I think it's only 5 in a row.
And then you have to have
but
a 2.5
10 balls
minute.
are in a row from the same end.
Oh,
You have to
right.
change after every
You have
10
to have
balls.
a 2.5 minute break somewhere, don't you, or something? Short heave, that's
Goodbye.
gone all the
Goodbye.
way back into the crowd. Grandhomme picked that up. It was short, it was angled down leg, and he just let it come onto him and followed it through down behind square. Way over the boundary. It's 6 runs.
Let's wrap through some tweets and other things. Ravi Nunes joined us. He said, "Bugger! Had to take a call and miss a second wicket. What happened?"
Miss it by
Good
Munro.
catch at short
Munro.
third man.
yes, by
Munro.
Mahmood
Munro
caught
was
it.
out. Mahmood caught
Mahmood
it. Yeah,
caught it,
there's a toe end.
And
Tom Curran.
on Quick Tracker, Shashi Juft Sanwai has joined us.
Hello.
Shubham Kushwaha says New Zealand win by 78 runs. It's presumably after the second or third over when they were going like gangbusters. Thiruvul Mayaram says target 170 plus.
Yep.
Hassan Ahmed says 195.
Somewhere between 170 and 190 would be my bet. That's a 20-run spread. There's some alpacas. Alpacas?
Yeah, it looked like it,
Alpacas?
didn't it? Yeah.
And
No, there's
some-
a cows.
There's some cows.
Yeah. Ready for Matt's jingle?
Yeah, give him a go. Oh yeah, we're going to see the leggy. And his first ball, that's not bad actually. Decent bit of flight, terrible bit of field of his own bowling. Unfortunately, I didn't get away with a run. Gave it a little bit of flight. I quite like that. Straight, decent length, decent line.
With
Good
promise,
control.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's promising. He says, after seeing one ball.
Yeah, that's it.
Next ball is, again, it's the same. Swept this time. Is there anyone behind square? There is. So it'll only be a single. There's that Tom Curran out there, I believe.
That was the equivalent of an exit poll
Yes.
after one ball.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what's going to happen?
Please don't.
We're thinking of doing election
We'll know
night.
on the 12th of December, won't we?
We're trying to convince Sherwood to do election night, but the thing is, no one wants to come in and it be a disaster and Labour gets slaughtered and the Tories get a massive majority. But I guess you can't predict that. I guess we'll watch the polls as it comes in, as we get up there. Flatter into the pads, isn't half an appeal, but I think probably
Going
sliding
down.
our leg.
Not enough turn.
Not enough turn. Decent ball though.
Yeah, he's
Gives it
got,
good flight,
there's
good
something about him.
There's something about it. He's not prepared to give it some flight and get it up there.
I mean, they're not picking it as easy as they might have thought. And that's
We
a
haven't, seen a
combination of
we haven't seen a googly yet either. I presume he has one. That's chipped up and straight down the ground. Is there mid off there? There's a long off. That's James Vince down there. I don't know if you want him down there. Might have catch coming his way.
Yeah, that's a target-rich environment for.
Yes. That's a single though. 2 singles, 2 dots, 2 balls left. He bowled him! Wicket! Nice one! It's a horrible shot. Cypher's gone for the big reverse heave over the offside. It's gone between his legs actually and hit his leg stump. And our man
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at?
gets a wicket in his first over. Really ugly shot by Cypher. Yeah, it's T20. You let him get away with it.
That wasn't required.
It really wasn't required, but I guess you just I'm really with Andy on this one. Parkinson gets his first ever international T20 wicket. I'm with Andy Ward on this. You've got 20 overs, you've just got to go all the way. It's pointless not. Hence the kind of variable nature of it, I guess, as a game.
Anyway, Tim Etherington has joined us. He says it's odd hearing Mahmood's jingle and not having any relation to the Italian Mahmood who represented Italy this year in Eurovision and became a highly respected second. Jingle idea, perhaps? Well, you suggested it. Jinglers?
Italy? What were Italy playing in? Was that the European?
No, the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, right. Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah, that's a joke. Well,
it's
a man.
It's the same as everything
Mr.
else,
Taylor.
so everything goes on for ages and then England don't win.
Yes. I guess you were upset about the.
Yes, I was.
Can't have any complaints though, can you? Really?
No, we were
We got
outplayed,
battered.
absolutely outplayed on the day. Sinclair's removal from the game after 3 minutes was an absolute disaster.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Left the forwards with far too much to do, and they just beasted us in the scrum.
But that was
never
the thing,
ever,
wasn't it? They just,
and they won 18 points off the scrum penalties. So
yeah, exactly. That was the problem, wasn't it? Kind of reminded me that when was it? It was a World Cup we lost, but they kept just drop goaling us.
that's the quarterfinals in 1999.
I remember that was fucking
when Yanni De
irritating to
Beer
watch.
scored
Yeah.
five drop goals in the
God, that was
quarterfinals.
horrible to watch.
It was more disappointing was the 2007 one where we lost on a very close game.
That was that in Paris?
What, the 36-0 or the 15-6?
Clipped out. Sorry, people. There was a little bit of a break while he was getting himself.
10-7, wasn't it, or something?
Clipped out to Dima wicket per single. Was that Paris?
It was. Yeah.
Well, we were unexpected to get to the final, and we got
did,
there, and we
yes.
were pretty ugly, and yeah.
I was at that final.
Oh, really?
in Paris.
Yeah, I remember watching that tournament thinking, we were pretty shit.
Yeah, we were rubbish actually. How we got through to the final,
Well, I
never
don't know.
but
Yeah, exactly.
But
Anyway.
we defended our championships as well as we could.
And we were shit at home.
Yes.
Oh, well.
We've got to change.
Another change. Another Curran has come back into the attack.
The left or the right?
Well, you won't be seeing the
Lefty.
the third one.
No. He does play cricket though, doesn't he?
Well, you could see him in a you could see a match with all three Currans this year because they are going to play each other. Yeah, and provided they're all fit.
There we go.
And selected.
Is he a batter or bowler? Some Curran. What's his distinguishing feature? Some Curran. He starts from Zimbabwe. Some Curran. And he's below the nightlists, yes. Some Curran.
He's going to bowl to Ross Taylor. Wasp says 175, which is good for me. I'm under 185.5. That's a little bit of a slow ball into the deck. Just worked into the leg side behind square. Pick that up. Couldn't see who that picked that up. I think it's Pat Brown actually.
Brown, I think. Brown.
Came in from about mid wicket. And they got themselves a single.
There's some hairy boys
There's some
there.
hairy
aren't they?
boys there.
They've got November going a bit early.
It took a bloody long time to get there, and they've been going for a while, I know. So.
November last year?
Possibly. Yeah, Sammy Curran into the crease, thrown up wide, maybe a little bit slower. Big heave by the Grandhomme. Got nothing on it yet, 116.5 Ks. It's a much slower.
Those slow balls are really staying low, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
they
hardly
are.
getting up above
Well,
their
I mean, the
ankles,
thing is, you're
so-
kind of showing New Zealand what to do here, aren't you? You've got to keep the runs down. And the other thing is, we lost those 2 wickets in about 3 balls on Sunday. Can't do that again.
In the first couple of overs.
Yeah, well, Johnny B was out first ball of the bloody innings, wasn't he? And with Vince's 5 drop catches, and then he only got 1 run. It was, and Vince was he unlucky? I don't know if he was unlucky. He hit it quite sweetly, but straight to the man at deep point. Clipped out to deep mid wicket for a single. Ross Taylor moves off 2 off 2. Grandhomme. Sorry, that was the Grandhomme out there. Taylor back on strike. 72 for 3 in the 9th over.
So you're not so much fireworks at the moment, is there? So
No, well, this is off. Yeah, I
What
mean,
do you find in these
T20s are
sorts-
kind of predictable, aren't they? I mean,
This is the boring middle over.
this is pretty much boring sort of 3 or 4 overs in the middle. I mean, they have earned themselves time if they really want it, I suppose. Just defended up to mid on. There's no run.
plenty of wickets in the hutch, haven't there?
Plenty of wickets in the hutch.
Plenty of
But
firepower
I mean, they've got
as well.
Southey at what, 7?
That's
I mean, he can
8.
hit the
That's
ball.
a bit high.
Yeah,
He hits a mean ball to me, doesn't he?
yeah, you can do. But I mean, I suppose in a T20 it doesn't really matter. He's only going to face maybe 4 overs tops. Ross Taylor can't get that one away either. Decent ball, thrown up a little bit wide, full by Sam Curran. Taylor was trying to work it into leg side and got himself in no position whatsoever, and just ended up playing it back down the track to Sammy Curran. And there is no run.
Well, you've got to bowl a very sort of disciplined line to Taylor. He's got to be just outside off stump, so he doesn't have room to free his arm,
Yeah.
but not enough on the stumps,
And
so he
also-
can work it through with the leg side.
He does like getting his foot down, doesn't he? Even slog sweeping the quicker bowlers as well, so you can't offer him that length. But that's on the pads. Well, he didn't really get anything on it. Maybe into
So
no,
far,
it was a leg
yeah.
by. Down to his man at short fine leg on a 45. And that ends it over. It's a good open by Curran. Only 2 off it, and one of them was a leg by. 73 for 3 now. New Zealand find himself after 9. And things have slowed down. What are they, 41 off 4.1 overs?
Yeah, there was 10 and over, weren't they? The
Yeah,
first
they were
4?
10 and over.
Very, very
Yeah.
comfortably.
Wickets, man, wickets. The Grandhomme Nation can hit a long ball.
Santa can certainly hit a long ball.
Yeah, can do, but I mean,
If you put it in a slot for him, it'll disappear everywhere.
yeah, but if you
He's
bowl
one of these
cleverly
annoying,
to him,
He's one of these annoyingly talented omni-sport players, because he's like a scratch golfer.
is he?
And plays a couple of other sports at a very high level.
A lot
as
of them
well.
are, though, aren't they? You know, tossed up nicely by Parkinson, and Taylor can only drive it down to the man at long off, get himself a single.
Yeah, he gives the ball good air, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does
Parkinson?
give it good air, but he gets it down. It's a
Yeah.
decent pace, gets a good dip.
You wonder how long it's going to be before someone says,
Well-
enough of this, I'm going to run out and try and get it on the
Well,
ball.
Cypher tried it with a reverse, didn't he? He got himself out.
The Grandhomme could be dangerous, and the thing is, if he just hits through the line and gets the right length, it could go an awful long way, you'd have thought. But
I
see what Parkinson can do.
I think Vince is still at long off as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh, there you go. Here it comes.
Well, he's got all of that.
That's got all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all of that. It's a decent shot over long extra cover. I don't know how long the boundaries are, but it's a good shot by the Grandhomme. It seemed to accelerate as it came off the bat and all the way over there for 6 runs.
Having been struck by the bats, the ball pitches beyond the boundary. It's a 6.
That's right off the meat.
Yeah, it is right off the meat. That went sweetly. Not a bad ball. Parkinson in again. And he tries it once more. Hit it straight down to... it's Pat Rain. Who has replaced Vince down long off. Maybe a wise move. And it's only a single.
Ready shift
One
John
we're
us.
applauding, aren't we?
He says, evening all, back listening after a long break. Serve me up an England win, please.
We'll try.
We
Ready
should probably...
shift. Bloody hell, I haven't heard from you for a while. That's leg side. It's going to be a leg side wide. And then
Oh dear.
Billings threw it away. I think he was trying to maybe take the stumps.
Did he take it? I don't think he took it, did he?
It was a wide. He did take
He
it.
took
and
it,
then he
and
threw
then he
it
tried
away.
to
Tried to
dislodge the
knock
bails.
and let it go the ball. Twat.
Oh, that's going to be some question of sport. What happened next? At some point.
Ooh, that one came on with the arm. That's a decent ball. The Grandhomme went back to cut it, thinking it was going to turn, and there's a bit decent flat ball as well. And he had to cut it off his off stump in the end, down to the man behind square.
Oh, that's a quicker ball.
Yeah, it's a
He
quicker
just
ball.
got away
That's
on
a good
it.
one. It slid on. It's down a track and flatter again. I think maybe he saw him coming. He bowled well, Parkinson. I like that.
Yeah.
He came down a bat, saw him coming, bowled it again, flatter and in more at his pads, trying to give himself some room. Got an inside edge onto his pad. It just wiggled away on the
Here comes the
outside.
thundering
No run.
hooves.
One more ball and we'll have another switcheroo. Parkinson in into the pads and trying to work onto the leg side. Grandhomme gets a leg bar again, I believe, and will be a leg bye. That's the end of my little stint. 84 for 3, and I'm being replaced by John, and I'm being replaced by John. Tony is coming in, and I think Steve is staying here. So I will see you shortly.
The best things in life are free. Just like Gorilla commentary, we need money.
To Patreon.
That's what I want.
.com/Gorilla Cricket.
We need money.
Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
I
Well, what do we think? The honours even, pretty much, I think, wouldn't you say?
Certainly
Right now?
pulled it back up, England, I think. So.
Yeah, I think the last 3 or 4 overs have tightened things up quite well. I think the predictions of 200 are looking a little in the distance now, aren't they?
I think Bears 185 is looking quite safe as well, actually.
Yeah, that may be a little far, but
We have Sam Curran back in the attack here. He's about to bowl his second ball, isn't he, I think?
he is indeed.
Ross Taylor hasn't made a 50 since 2014, I think, in T20s.
Wow.
In
So
any
he's-
form or international?
Oh, no,
no.
just in T20s. No, just in T20s.
I mean, internationals. In any T20.
in
actually,
T20
right?
internationals, yeah.
Yeah.
So here is Curran. That's worked away off his legs into the area of mid-wicket. Throw goes right over Billings' head, but is tied it up, just a single.
Taylor looks in a very sort of nudgy, nerdly mood, doesn't he? He hasn't really tried to swing at it.
Well, I guess while Grandhomme's in the groove, he probably doesn't need to, does he?
Although he's been swishing quite a lot to Grandhomme.
Here's Curran again. That bustling run. Oh, that's
ball.
outside leg stump, poor delivery, worked around to find leg for 4. There's been a bit too much of that from England.
Yeah, Guptill certainly harvested any number of balls just flicked off his legs, didn't he?
Well, I think the problem is if you've got fine leg up, you just can't
You
afford
can't
to bowl
pitch
that
that.
full and on that line, can you? Because it's going to go for full.
But of the quicker bowlers, Pat Brown certainly managed to find his line very quickly.
Yeah, much better. Here's Curran again.
Oh,
That's even wider. No touch this time through to Billings, wide signalled.
harder for the batsman to get to, though. So.
Yeah, I think he needed a step ladder to hit that one, but there we are. Yeah, so this over, England are just releasing some of the pressure that they'd managed to build up over the previous few. Here's Curran again. That's outside off stump, but it's creamed straight down the track.
Well stopped.
Brilliantly fielded on the boundary by Banton, who gets it back into Curran, and they cross for two.
Just sort of stood tall and actually absolutely clubbed that, didn't he? It wasn't pretty.
No elegance in that.
That got some stick, didn't it? That was welly.
Well, that was very well stopped in the field. Right.
Yeah, very good fielding. 93 for 3.
A full start. It's a lovely setting, this ground, isn't it?
It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Curran again. That's chipped into the leg side. Fielded again by Banton. Again, they're coming back for two.
Ooh.
That would have been quite close. That.
Yeah, you have Banton set very deep there, don't you, at long on, and I think the Grandhomme knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that was a chip that was going to fall well short. So 2 was always the objective on that one. If it had gone for 4, it would have been a real bonus.
Expensive over this, 11 from it already, 1 still to come. And that's short, and it's pulled away into the leg side. There is a man out at deep square.
Lewis Gregory.
And that's just a single again. 96 for 3.
The man who took a wicket with his first ever international ball.
He was, yeah, it was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was marvellous to watch. Messages has just woken up and sent us a message. Morning all.
Morning, Messrs.
That's a particularly spectacular view behind you. Where are we today? We are in Nelson.
We are in Nelson.
Very north of the South Island of New Zealand. Same latitude as Wellington, I believe. So.
The Lady Mayor is married to a cricketer, I believe.
A New Zealand cricketer?
Former New Zealand cricketer,
right.
Yes. The Mayor of Nelson. I'll need to check my facts on that, but I'm 90 with Mayoress. I'll check my facts on that for you, but that's what I seem to remember reading.
A fine piece of news, Tony. Fine piece of news.
And here is Lewis Gregory speaking
first, more importantly, yeah.
Here he is, right on cue. He's in and bowls. And it's a pretty straight one. Just played out to mid-on.
He gave himself a chance of getting a wicket with his first ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, come in up in there. Gregory's bowling in the match today. Gregory's bowling.
To cover. I think that's David Milan lurking in the covers, is it not?
Yorkshire's finest, there he is. Yorkshire's finest, and a Trent rocket till he dies.
Yeah.
Good old Dawid. It's the Mayor of Nelson. It's Rachel Rees, who's married to a former Somerset and briefly Yorkshire and Central Districts batsman. So the horses are being treated. I think it's after they've retired, but yes, it's his Melbourne Cup day. By all accounts, a phenomenal social event.
Gregory again. And that's sort of squirted away just behind square on the offside. Again, just a single. Tidy over this so far from the Somerset man.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at the experimentation that England have done. Parkinson's made a terrific start. Gregory's looked pretty good. I think Mahmood has struggled a little bit. Pat Brown's looked the real deal.
Here's Gregory again. Again, right on the stumps. Work down to mid-on.
Hundreds up as well.
Indeed.
I mean, from an England perspective, de Grandhomme is looking
ominous.
poised.
Yeah.
He's got himself to 40 off 24, and
Without
if he stays for
really
another
well.
5 overs, you suspect there might be some carnage.
Chop that one almost off the stumps down to short third. But only 5 singles from the over, chaps. We'd take that, wouldn't we?
Well,
Oh, I think they
absolutely.
would. I think they
so.
definitely would.
Certainly not letting him swing his arms, are they? So very tidy over.
I mean, we've still got Neesham to come, then Santner and Southey, both of whom can swing their arms effectively
long
enough.
handle merchants, I think we would say.
Because we're all waiting with bated breath to see what the jingle is for Blair Tickner, aren't we? Mog, I know, is particularly interested in
So a
that.
message from Mog, just picking up on what you were talking about, Tony. Yeah, the racing industry treats horses worse than the fashion industry does models. But because sports, we have to love it.
Pat Brown back into the attack.
Pat Brown.
Well, that's a bit wide and it's thrashed over cover. One bounce, 4.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
Too much width, wasn't there? He's
Yeah.
been bowling a much tighter line on the stumps for a lot of it, Pat Brown, just on a length, getting the ball to rear up at the batsman off that length, but that one he just strayed.
And again, there was no foot movement there from Colin de Grandhomme
No.
at all. He just kind of stood and threw the bat at it. And again,
And again.
that's a
Oh.
glorious straight hit. That's gone a
That's
long
gone.
way. That's gone over the sight screen, I think.
Yeah,
It's gone over the sight
almost
screen for
out
6.
of the ground, that one.
Wow.
Great hit.
I think that's probably the shot of the day so far, that one.
Again,
Brown's tried to bowl a slower ball, I think, and he's picked it.
That's his 50 up as
short
well.
and wide, 50 for Colin de Grandhomme.
27 balls, I think. That's rapid.
We'll celebrate his 50 in just a moment.
And another
Oh.
big swing. But there's a man now out on the sort of cover boundary, so it's just 1.
Anyway, one of these for CDG.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
I think as you were saying in the last over, gents, that he was ready to kind of unfurl a shot or two, and he certainly has in this over.
Ooh.
Here's Taylor kind of swinging at one that's wide of
Oh
the
dear.
stump, and it's misfielded. Misfielded on the fence by Banton, who seemed to have got there and then completely missed the ball.
Yeah,
So this
again.
is turning into a very expensive over. That's 15 off the over already. It was an ugly shot by Taylor, actually. It was wide of the off stump and he sort of smeared it down towards mid-on, and yeah, Banton appeared to have it completely covered and then missed the ball altogether.
He did.
Here's Pat Brown again. Well, that's a full toss, I think.
Have
He's
another
reached it on
go.
the full toss. And Vince comes round this time and fields that one. It's just a single.
Mayank messages, which more undecided this match should be played in the middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday when everyone is at work? Surprised the ground is full.
What it is, I was just thinking
it's a
that.
fantastic turnout, actually. It's not as big as the previous ground, is it? So,
Well, no, it's about 6,000 capacity, but and probably well selected for the day of the week, I would imagine.
Here's Brown again. That's very full. Squirted out square of the wicket. It's just one. But that's a very expensive over. 17 from it.
I think
It wasn't good, was it?
you'd rather, wouldn't you, always play in front of a packed 6,000
And an
than
empty
6,000
25.
rattling around a 40,000 stadium.
I mean, it did look a bit poor, didn't it, the other night with the ground looking so empty. But,
Yeah, well, they had one stand completely closed in that cake tin, and we were getting, a few of our tweeters were telling us that it's not the most popular of venues.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing spot the fan, do you?
Mm.
So where do we think this one's heading? 185, 190? If the Grandhomme stays there, I think there's every chance they could still get
the higher numbers are
right up
certainly
that,
in play,
towards the
aren't they?
200 mark. 2 quick wickets could change that dramatically, of course.
Which would be a very big score on a pitch where that is holding up a little bit, I think. So
The partnership 49 off 31 so far.
needs to be broken. Here's Lewis Gregory. It's right on the money.
Oh, bold.
Can't do anything with that. Just pushes it out on the offside.
It's a rather lame defensive shot that by de Grandhomme, isn't it?
Good ball, good length, not particularly quick. Just not really giving the batsman anything to work
Nothing
with.
to work with, no pace on the ball.
Which is probably the way to go on this pitch. I mean, we saw early on, didn't we, that a few of the slower balls were pretty effective. That one's pushed out on the leg side. It's just a single.
Messages at Guerrilla Cricket. I think it's important to note that because we are the sporting capital of the world, Melbourne has a public holiday for horse race today. Loves it. Thank you, Mez. Send me a heart as well.
Oh my word.
Was it just for you?
No.
I want to know the reason why, if that was the case.
Laying exclusive claim to that one. Here's Greg.
Whoa!
Oh, my
Whoa!
word. That's a
Crikey.
No ball, that one, I think.
That's a full bunger, which has gone down to fine leg for 4 and been signalled a no ball. So
Well, we can do the 4 first.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And also one of these.
that's just literally slipped out of his hands, I think, hasn't it?
He actually played it really well.
He did.
Because he managed to sort of play it off his chest.
You've got a free hit.
Down
And so
very
we have
fine.
the game's first free hit. Here comes Gregory again. It's
Oh, well
short,
played.
and he's signalled
go-
wide as well.
Oh, Lord.
That's harsh, isn't it?
I think that's hard because that was just a little bit of this.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
But it was. No, it was. It was.
Yeah,
Bounce.
it's above head height, so you've got to signal it. It was a clever idea, but
So presumably it's now 2 free hits consecutively.
because we have the free
Because
hit
the
again.
free
because-
hit wasn't hittable, therefore
Yes.
this should be a second free hit. I
So
would
here
have
it is, and he
Oh, he's-
swung it away
Got hold of that.
high in the air,
thought. It's gone.
and it's gone. It's absolutely gone. That's a maximum.
Super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocka, rocka, super shatter.
Oh, Gregory, 13 off 3.
Rather ruining that first over that he bowled.
Yes, because we had the no ball that went for 4, and then the wide, and now the 6. So, yeah, ever since we bigged him up, chaps, he's just gone all over. He's just gone all over the world. It's
I
like
think there is an element to that.
kiss of death from the Gorillas. I think.
Ooh.
Oh, that's well bowled.
It was.
That sneak past
Excellent
the inside
comeback.
edge. Somehow it's missed the stumps. I'm not quite sure how on earth that missed the stumps.
Billings was very quick to rip his glove off and was to make sure he was chasing after that.
Yeah, that's a very good response from Gregory. He's literally played that into the ground. It's gone over the top of the stumps, I think. Wow. Here he is again, anyway. And that's again right on the stumps. It's worked round onto the leg side. They think about 2, but they decide against it wisely.
Yeah, he's a bit more of a comeback. No, when I was talking about the free hit, I was thinking he would get 2 consecutive free hits, because in theory he bowled a ball worthy of a free hit off the free hit ball.
Yes.
So he should have had 1 for the previous one, and actually having bowled a free hit ball on the free hit ball, he should have had another one. So I think they should have had 2 free hits consecutively, which they didn't get.
Let's not help them any more than they
Yes.
than we need to, chaps. They're
CDG is doing all right with us without us.
Well, he
chipping
is.
in.
helping him. Yeah, exactly.
Well, he is.
Exactly. Enough punishment already, I think.
It's like if you get awarded a penalty and then someone trips you up as you're about to take the penalty, then it would be another penalty. I mean, surely it's the same principle. You should be allowed to have 2 consecutive free hits if you bowl a free hit ball on your free hit ball, as it were. But there we go. Not the way. It would be too logical.
Reminds me of the worst penalty I ever saw in a football match, that does, where the original penalty hit the post, so the guy ran in to try and knock in the rebound, tripped over the goalkeeper, and the ball hit him as it was coming back out and still went in.
Good Lord.
Ridiculous.
As long as it gets to the back of the net, it doesn't
Who
really
cares?
matter,
Yeah,
does it?
exactly. Nobody's going to say to him, how did it happen? He's just going to say, look, I scored.
So the Wasp was up to 194 there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. 197.
Well, here's Tom Curran,
Well, nice.
and that's
A slow ball.
a slower ball again,
I think it's time.
and de Grandhomme was through the shot.
They rattle the changes so quickly, but here he is again.
The most effectual top cat, whose intellectual close friends get to see.
It's with dignity.
That just makes me feel old, because I remember it. That's the problem.
Don't worry about that.
Top Cat, wonderful stuff. Top Cat and Benny. Here comes Tom Curran again.
Oh, dear.
Officer
2
Dibble, don't we?
Officer Dibble. Oh yeah, Officer Dibble.
Fancy Choo Choo, Benny the Ball.
Indeed, yeah. And lots of dustbins.
And
I
lots of
seem to remember.
dustbins,
Yeah,
yeah.
lots of dustbins.
Indeed.
Dear
Wasn't
me.
Phil Silvers was the voice of.
Yes, he
I
was.
believe so,
Yes,
yeah.
he was indeed. Yeah. Well, let's face it. Officer Dibble even looked like Phil Silvers a little bit, didn't he? With that sort of strange face and the big nose and the. Anyway, such frivolity. 134 for 3.
Fond memories of the Phil Silvers show as well.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Sergeant Bilko.
We're all showing our age, gentlemen. That's what it is.
Yeah, middle-aged gents.
Here's Taylor on 22, facing Curran. And that's another
Yeah,
slower ball.
Great ball.
Well, it's
He's-
put a bit of a break on, isn't it? So
Well, it has.
Let's hope he keeps it up.
He does bowl that ball particularly well, Curran. Was it the back of the hand?
Yeah, it was. It was right out the back of that. It was right on the margins, that actually. It was pretty close to being a
Slow.
wide, that one.
Right on the wide wide marker line, but not over it.
Testing the umpire's patience, I think that one was. But he
He's
got away
certainly
with that one.
Testing Taylor's.
Oh, that's very
Ooh.
well bowled as well. That's inside edged,
Oh, unlucky.
just past the off stump. And they run one through to Billings, who shied at the stumps, but I think they would have been home even if it had.
It was a good
hit.
quick single. No,
Or in
he'd
fact, he
been
wouldn't have been home.
miles
He'd have
out.
been miles out.
Oh,
He
he
wasn't
was-
even in the picture.
Gone by miles. We'd been able to, at the time to take his glove off. Maybe he'd been more accurate. He was throwing whilst still wearing his glove.
Yeah, lots of hands on heads from the
No, he'd taken the big glove off.
Oh, he did take
No,
the
he
from
glove
the
off.
English
Oh, okay.
fielders.
It wasn't far away, was it?
It was not. Well, here's Curran again to de Grandhomme. This is the man that England really need. And he's lofted that. It's going to be out. Yeah, he's lofted it straight to Banton at deep mid-on.
Well, well done him. Kept his nerve after that rather shaky bit of fielding earlier.
That was a pretty full ball to try and fetch, wasn't it, really? He was almost kind of digging that out, and he chipped it rather than driving through it. So,
well, there we go.
well, he's earned that wicket in that over.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're about to have another changeover here.
Jason's in. The bear's refuelling, is he? Oh Lord, that could mean anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Oh, it's a bear. That's what it is.
Oh no, it wasn't a trip to the woods. It was
the bear and the bear and the bear.
It was a trip to the fridge, not the woods.
Yes. Jimmy Neesham coming in.
Well, we shall find him.
And the reason is a fine piece of bowling by Curran. Another ball that he held back a little bit, and it was just too full to play that shot, I think, and he's just chipped it straight into the hands of Banton.
Took it solid as you like, didn't he? Here's
He's
the new
held on
batsman.
to it well. At least England haven't dropped anything today.
Another slow ball. Jimmy Neesham's bowled another slow ball.
Might need a tad of updating, that particular jingle. Is that Jordan out on? So who's gone off then if Jordan's out there on the pitch?
Yeah, Jordan hands in pockets
Somebody will
at mid-off, it would seem.
That's definitely whipping up a bit of a wind there. But I didn't see who has gone off for Jordan.
So it's 135 for 4. One more ball before we have a switcheroo here. Neesham surveying the field. And here's Curran. Again, right on the stumps. It's just worked round onto the leg side. Just a single. 136 for 4 with 5 overs to go.
It's been too many overs on a little couch, oh, just like an old biddy. They need to stretch and slouch. It's been a few overs coming, but to the sofa, change gon' come. Oh yes it is.
Well, there's 5 overs left. The total is 1,364. Perfect time to get a wicket. Saqib Mahmood is going to come back into the tank. He's got 2 for 30. Got a bit of Humpty again. Came back well reasonably at the end the other day. Clawed it back a bit. Got himself a wicket. Never easy. But de Grandhomme was a dangerous man out there. Taylor can be dangerous, let's be honest. Neesham is 1 off 1, and he's going to face up to Mahmood's first ball in his pads and clip nicely away out towards deep mid wicket to field it, and they'll get themselves a single. I imagine Wasp has them around about my number, which is 185 at the moment. 10 over off the
gone
last
downwards
5.
quite a lot with
Might have done.
gone
Another
down.
cut away. I mean, I was saying to you just out there, wasn't I? I mean, even if you get away, if you get the wicket in the 15th over and it's the man that you need, and then you get another one, it can slow things quite dramatically. I've seen it a lot in the IPL where big scores seem apparent and then the wickets fall in the last 5 overs, everyone trying to give it Humpty, and it all goes horribly wrong.
Well, we've just seen Matt Parkinson on the field, so he's not the person who has gone off, unless
maybe the skipper's gone off.
Jordan
taking
has
a break.
Disappeared again.
No, I think he's out there at deep long off.
I would certainly have him out there. He's a very good fielder.
Well, exactly. They've probably got him out there for fielding purposes. And taking Vince off, maybe. Mahmood is in, and it's down leg side. It's going to be a wide down the leg side. And his radar is not on. He's not. Well, I mean, maybe you don't bowl at express pace anyway in T20s, but
Wide.
this express pace that we were supposed to see from him, I haven't seen.
Maybe he's not as fit as he needs to be.
Possibly. Maybe it's a bit cold. It doesn't look particularly warm even though the sun's out. Mahmood is in, and it's reasonably straight. Full. 133 Ks, 134. It's driven down to Jordan, who's taking his place on the deep long on boundary.
He just doesn't look to have that rhythm which you need to have when it's going to come out absolutely perfectly
Yeah.
and zip out. And I think he's also being asked to bowl a length which is not
Yeah.
either.
He must have
He
played
looks
enough.
like he's bowling a length to bang it in slightly rather than to skid off the top of the surface.
Yeah, possibly. He must have played a lot of T20s. Into the hip of Nisham. Down to long leg, got himself a single. Yanat Khan says
Yay.
yes, yay, yes. Asif Khan is waving, which is lovely. And
Hello.
there's hello also to MD Mohbur Rahman Ripan Hassan and indeed Mohammed Al Amin. Welcome to all.
Welcome to all indeed. Does look rather lovely out there. Mahmood is up to the crease. Bowls. There's another wide down the leg side. Poor ball. I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get full and angle it into the pads, but he's just getting it wrong and it's sliding on down. And every time it's a wide. And he's only completed 3 proper balls this over. Bowl 5. Yeah, it's warming up. He comes into bowl to Ross Taylor, and again it's down the leg side, and it's another wide. Poor stuff from Mahmood.
Right, you can't bowl any more wides. I've run out of jingles.
Oh really? Okay, fair enough. Oh,
I
you
have to go
start
searching
with
for a different jingle now.
No, you just have to play them all again. Anyway, he comes up to the crease now. He's trying to not give him any room, and he gets that one into his pads. He's not tried the fuller floatier one outside the off stump. I don't know. Anyway, it's worked down to long leg, and he'll get himself a single with Taylor, getting off strike. Nishan will come back on, 143 for 4.
There's a couple of no ball jingles we might want to update as well when I think about it. Because the only one that's
the dude.
Well, the only one that seems to be in there at the moment is stepping over the line.
The dude, yeah.
Yeah, which of course a lot of
timeless.
no balls these days aren't. Well, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Ball stepping over the line.
I don't know. I'm thinking too much, Tony.
But if
tried to heave it past the man up inside the circle under 45. This is guerrilla cricket after all.
no, but if it's a no ball for like height, and no one stepped over a line, have they?
I'm sure we've got more than that.
Well, I'm sure we have. It's just what's in the cart at the moment.
Knackle fucking slims things down for
Ease of operation.
ease of
is it?
operation
Oh, okay.
purposes. Well, you know, I preferred a long list, I have to say. That was no run, as he did hit Parkinson, who was up inside the circle. Got away with it. That's a heave by Nisham out towards deep cow. No, sorry, deep square leg. The man is behind square. Double teapot from Mahmood. But it was a length ball and it got picked up. And it was 4 runs down there. I think that finally brings up the end of the over. It's just in the slot. And he's just picked it up. And there ain't no one out there.
Well, there's no other named jingle for no balls.
There we are.
Unless it's under some other
They're probably not
moniker.
called no ball. You just go to the extras card. I can tell you which ones there are.
It's not a big deal. I wouldn't spend too much time. I wouldn't stress over it right now.
There should be more than that.
He's been averaging about 130 odd kilometres an hour.
Which isn't particularly
Saqib.
fast.
80.
80.
Yeah,
81.
81.
82. You know, it's pretty average, to be honest. Pat Brand is going to finish off. He has 1 for 26 of his 3. He's bowling at Taylor, he's 25 or 21. And that's heaved from a long way outside his off stump. That's a better ball. Full and wide. And tried to hoik it into the leg side. And only hit it straight down to the man at long on. And it'll only be a single to Ross Taylor. Nishan will take back up strike. 7 off 5, 148 for 4. 3 overs and 5 balls left.
Yeah, it's got a lot of varieties, has Pat Brown.
He's been probably one of the best. He's the other. Shit, I can't remember his name. It's terrible, isn't it? Thrown up full outside the off stump, driven by Neesham, back down the track, and there's no run. Gregory?
Yes.
Lewis Gregory,
I
yeah.
quite like him.
Well, he bowls...
Seems quite a smart bowler.
Yeah,
Not the greatest amount of pace, but he seems to have a brain in his head. Better work it out.
And he bowls a tight line, so they don't give much room to free their arms.
Yeah, he's decided that that's the way he's going to bowl.
Well, he's maximising his
potential.
Assets.
Indeed. Taylor facing up. Pat Brown gives it a big weep into the leg side. Doesn't get much bat on it. It's going to be a leg ball. It's not a leg ball, isn't it? No, got a bit of a corner of a
smashed
bat.
into the ground and into his pad, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say. Would have been a bad shout for everybody if he'd have missed it. Inside edge onto pad, scoots down to the man short and 45, gets himself a single.
Took 17 wickets in the blast, did Brown, in 14 games at about 24.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Not bad in T20. He's up to the crease now. Thrown wide again, and Neesham drove it back. He was trying to turn his back on it and get out of the way with Brown, but it hit his foot and just popped up, so and it ends up being a dot ball, which is quite handy.
It's a great piece of control off the back of his boot.
Now, who's got overs left? If anyone's got a scorecard up, I've got Parkinson's
got 2 overs left. I think S. Curran's got 1.
T's got 1. That's enough. Gregory must have 2.
Yes.
To start.
Saqib Mahmood's got
1. I wouldn't give him another one. That's full and driven square on the offside, behind square. There isn't anyone out there. It's hit on the full. Just a bit too full this time, and gave him some width, Neesham, and he was able to bunt it square, nicely timed for 4 runs.
That went like a tracer bullet.
Dug it out. Good timing out in the middle of the bat.
Actually, it's only Brown who would have been bowled out so far by the end of this over.
Yeah.
Gregory has 2, Parkinson 2, and 3 each for Mahmood, Curran and Curran.
I presume they'll go Curran.
They'll probably be 19 and 20, but
possibly.
I'd like to see Parkinson given another whirl.
Yeah, I would have given him another one. He bowled all right, I thought. Anyway, in comes Brown, slower ball. Neesham can only defend it square on the offside this time. It's fielded by Vince out there.
Well, we've not really seen these googly, and he needs a googly to a left-hander, really.
Yeah. Does he have a googly? I presume he must. I mean, they all said he had a googly when they were talking, when we were listening to some nonsense before the game.
I mean, okay, I could completely understand why he's not put it into play facing 2 right-handers.
Well, I still think well, I don't know, because if you toss it out wide and they think, I mean, the thing is it a tell that you throw it out wide?
Yes, it is. The first thing you're thinking is this coming straight back at me?
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be. I mean, if you don't get it too wide.
He's economical. He's very economical in the blast. 21 wickets in 12 games, with an average of just over 14 and an economy rate of 7.49.
Well, Mahmood is going to get a chance to bowl out. And I guess they're trying to give him confidence, but for me, he's not been great. And it's just, has he played in all 3 now? He didn't play in the first one, did he? Or did he? Can't even remember. I was quite pissed that night, funny enough. Big heave by Jimmy Neesham. Misses that one from Mahmood. Misses his off stump and goes through the Billings, and there's no run.
Well, that's the exact same line as who's bowled to the right-hander when it was a wide down the leg side.
Yeah.
But it's just outside off stump this time.
And not a bad ball, but it's kind of length. If he picks that up, it's going a long way. There's nothing spectacular about it, and the pace isn't fantastic. Anyway, he's up to the crease now. That's a slower ball, and that has been picked up. Has he got enough on it? Yeah, just got enough on it. Good attempt. Who's that down there? Brown
again.
I think he was trying to pat it back over to. He got a paw on it. He was trying to claw it back over to the man who was down there with him on the deep mid wicket boundary, but he couldn't do it, and it ended up being 6 runs. Got quite underneath it. It's quite blowy out there, isn't it?
Oh, he did get a paw on it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was trying to claw it back.
He was in flight and he couldn't get that. He couldn't quite get
enough
enough
strength to get it back over the boundary.
It was a very game effort.
Yeah, it was. This time full and wide. And another attempted heave by Nisham. Inside edge goes down to the man on 45, and they get themselves a single. It was a very good effort. In fact, he nearly caught it, but I think he realised he was going over, and therefore he tried to push it back. But his timing was all wrong, and it slipped out of his hand. Not done himself any harm, Pat Brown, it has to be said. Finally, having slagged him off, Mahmood gets a wicket. Taylor trying to heave that over the leg side. It was a pretty full, flat, skiddy ball, and he's trying to give it to Humpty. He's probably hit him in line with the middle and leg on the back pad in front of the stumps. And the umpire gave him out. He's not going to bother reviewing it. He knows he didn't get anything on it. He knows it's probably crashing into the stumps. And a vital wicket at a vital time. Ooh, actually, it might have been more leggy than I thought. Umpire might have given him out on the shot there, because actually on the replay it probably hit him in line with the leg and may have been sneaking down. Maybe a little contact with the leg stump. We'll see if they give us a Hawkeye. But anyway, Ross Taylor's decided he's had enough and he's gone off. And the next
Get
man
someone
in
who
will
can run
be
a bit faster into the wicket.
Well, yeah.
Or hit it a bit further, like Mitchell Santner.
It's Mitchell Santner.
So let's jingle him up.
Average of 15.87. Highest score is 37. But doesn't get that much chance to bat.
Santner baby, get some drift into the pads for me. Been an awful good Kiwi. Santner baby, and earth them in quickly tonight.
Impact in line. Is that missing? It's missing. I thought so on the replay, but he didn't want to review it. He thought he was out. I mean, it looked out when it hit him.
I think he was out knackered, really.
Yeah, it may well. He's out. Maybe.
So all this running singles, he couldn't hit a power ball to the boundary.
Well, they need someone to give it the long handle now, don't they?
Well, true.
On the
well,
the
that's a slower full ball and ends up being a full toss, and Santner will just bunt it down too long on. He'll get himself a single.
And now have two lefties in.
Two lefties. Well, that'd be quite good for Sam Curran, I thought.
It's quite good for Tom Curran as well, because he likes to take the ball across.
And he doesn't mind bowling round either. But there's 2 overs left after this, and the Currans have 1 each, so I imagine it'll be those 2 to close out. Here comes Mahmood, and that's thrown up. He fields off his own bowling, full and wide. Not a bad ball. Nisham drives it back down the track, and he sticks out a pull.
Well, we say it's missing by about a millimetre.
It is missing by a millimetre. That's not a point. It was, it's missing. That would have been a full overturn.
More people joining us on Crick Track A. Yanat Khan SS says yes. Safran Salman says hello.
Hello.
The Gio Hashim brothers say hi.
Hello to you all.
And Munir Udan says out. And if he was referring to Ross Taylor, out indeed it was. Although we've subsequently seen
that it wasn't out.
Probably wasn't. But I think Taylor was keen to make way for someone who's going to give it a bit more thump, a bit more humpty.
Well, what says 185? I think I got under 185 and a half. I'll have to check that on my
Well, it's the younger Curran who's now being called upon to take responsibility.
For the 19th over, presumably Tom will get the 20th. He comes up first ball, and Santner goes deep in the crease, humps it up to long on. It's Pat Brown down there, and he'll get himself a single. It's quite easy to pick out Pat Brown, isn't he? Long and gangly.
Yeah, tall. He's got
tall,
distinctive
thin
features.
Long legs,
floppy hair, not inconsiderably sized ears. He's got a touch of the Caddix about him.
Yeah,
let's just put it that way.
Not the prettiest looking man. Let's put it that way.
What? I wouldn't have gone as far as saying that.
He speaks well of you too.
Merely said he had a touch of the Caddix.
I'm sure he does. Sam Curran is facing up now, and that's into the pads. It goes down to man on 45. I think it'll be a leg by. It is indeed. It'll be 1.
The agreed leg by.
Yep.
Lord. Ravi Nair's quite angry. He says, I'm all for investigating our options and building our bench strength, but why are we getting anything by playing our fourth 11? Shouldn't the Kiwi fans feel cheated too?
Well, they don't have Williamson.
Well, that was by injury rather than design.
I think they have
isn't
less
it?
of a pool to play with, to be fair. That's a fucking filthy delivery, and it gets what... yeah, it does get what it's deserved. It's 4. There's a full ball on leg stump, and Santner just clips it around down to deep square leg. Gets it 4. I thought it would have gone for 6, but it does appear to have only been 4. Good timing.
I'm not sure I can...
You're not sure what?
Well, I was going to say to Ravi, I'm not sure I completely agree. I mean, I think this series was always geared up for experimentation.
Unfortunately, certainly the Tests are as well. They're not in the Test Championship,
a
are they?
five-match T20 series is a pretty unusual thing.
Indeed. Well, that's slow and shorter and outside off. That's a decent ball.
Well, I think it's all part of the master plan to get ready for the World T20 next
year.
Well,
I don't know how. You know what? I don't know how ready you can get for a T20 competition. I mean, you know, everyone's best sides out there should be able to beat each other. It's a question of how you plan the day.
No, but it means you want to have a look at.
Yeah, there are players you want to have a look at, and I don't have a problem with that. And you know, I mean, there's an awful lot of players we're looking at out here, though. But I think a lot of players also deserve a rest. You know, you've got to look after your players at the same time. That's driven down the ground. Pat Brown will field and they'll get a single. I mean,
that's why Root isn't here.
That's absolutely why Root isn't here. I mean, Bairstow's probably playing for his pace and he's a bit
Roy
paranoid. And Roy, exactly. Maybe Hale should have been given another slot. He hasn't played in international cricket for a while.
I'm not sure he's got enough good.
Well, he might be person non grata, exactly. But you know,
and he's a known quantity. They know what he can do.
True. That's down leg side. That'll be a wide.
That's awful.
Yeah. There are a lot of players can play international T20 for me. You don't have to be as consistent and good as you have to be being a Test side. You know, if you can heave it over the leg side quite strongly, as is apparent by the many T20 specialists around the world who never get anywhere near a Test side. Oh, decent ball though. Curran comes back, a little bit of in swing. Nishan gives it a big Humpty. It's full, beats the inside of his bat and takes out his middle and leg stump.
He was trying to heave over the leg side.
He was indeed. 171 for 6. Good comeback from Sammy Curran. I mean, I think you know, England, to be fair, I mean, unless someone completely stands out in this format, their T20 side for next World Cup with not assuming injuries,
right?
You know, they've got a pool of 14 or 15 players.
50-50 chance, I think, for the person you want.
Well, the edges and sledges.
Well, yes.
I would imagine that Southey would come in, wouldn't you? Just
I would put Southey in just for he's known for his 6 hitting ability, but.
It is himself.
He's skippering still, isn't he? So he's saying, yeah, I'm having a go.
What's up, John? What's cooking? What's up, John? Are you looking for birds, bunny bunting? Duck is gonna hunting.
Tim Southey.
Yeah, he can certainly give it a Humpty. And we shall see. Curran has one ball left, 2 balls
that
left.
Looks
it's
great.
the end of the over, so 1 over left. Tom Curran's going to bowl it. 171 for 6. He's up to the crease now. Across the stumps goes Santner. Followed a little bit by Tom Curran. He bashes it down to long off, and there is just a single.
Edges and Sledges cricket podcast agrees with us about Taylor. So Ross Taylor quickly walks off the field after being given out OBW to a howler without even consulting his partner. Maybe 2.2 overs left. Could have been a strategic call not to review. Maybe he backed Santner to hit bigger than him at the death. That's pretty much what we were saying.
8 or 6, yeah. Well, I did get under an 85.5, which means I've got
an outside chance.
Yeah, fairly decent
I'd
chance.
say that's 2 to 1 on almost.
Yeah, 13 runs acquired off 5
now
balls.
put the kiss of death
Yeah,
on.
you've just done that for me. Thanks, Jace. You know, Southey clumps that out to log on. You'll get a single. I mean, I think he can bowl reasonably full and straight. one of them might go for a boundary, but you'd hope the rest would.
Well, he's one of England's most experienced bowlers, particularly at the death, even at the age of 23.
The grand old age of 23. But you can see, I mean, Jordan, Curran and the Currans, out of all the bowlers so far on this tour, have just been that little bit more wily, not as expensive. He's in. Santner tries to give it a heave up. It's gone straight back down the ground. It will only be... Well, they're going to come back for 2. Good running. It's another slower ball, I think, out of the back of the hand. But it was very straight, and Vince had to go across from a pretty wide position, mid-off. Long off, sorry. And allowed them to get back for 2. Yeah, it was out of the back of the hand. It's pretty good with that ball, has to be said. Santner was waiting for it, went deep in the crease. 3 balls left, 175 for 6. And slap straight down the ground. It's going to be too fast for the bowler, for the fielder this time. Full toss. He tossed it up too far. 2 balls left, 179 for 6.
There's not one ball for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Ended up being full toss. And Santner got low and just drove it straight back down the ground. But yeah, I think if you looked at the bowlers, I think Tom Curran, Sam Curran and Jordan have been pick of England's bowlers so far. I'd have said in these 3 games that I've seen. Certainly a bit more wily than most. Clipped square on the leg side. There is a man out deep mid wicket. They're going to go for 1 and they will stick there. Good fielding by Pat Brown. Which means Southey gets to face the last ball. He needs 6 to
ruin your day.
To ruin my day. Well, it won't ruin my day, but it'll mean I don't win any money. 4 was fine, actually. And the field swept around. 180. Will England get that? I don't fancy it today.
Not for I'm fancying us too much at the moment.
You have to say.
But, it'll be. I mean, if Banton and Milan could break the back of it early doors, then
Milan batted all right the other day. Full last ball and he's out. I think Santner's been bowled off. Run out of the last ball. It's a slower ball into the deck by Tom Curran. Southey gave himself some room to smash it over the offside. Missed it completely. Went under him to Sam Bennings, who underarmed it into the stumps. And Santner, being unselfish, was running for the extra run. He got himself run out by 2 yards. And he ended up being out for 15 off 19. New Zealand end on 180 for 7.
Rajata here, Musamount was just going, love New Zealand.
Well, I love New Zealand. Never been there, but I like their teams. I think they're very sporting people. They seem very gracious in defeat and victory.
Indeed,
and that's what I like about them. They have somewhat limited resources. They specialise in the greatest rugby team in the world.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No, exactly.
A team that wins 80% of its matches home or away against any opposition, any venue, for 100 years.
It has to be considered that.
Yeah,
it's true.
In effectively a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
So shall we quickly run through the scorecard before
if you've got it there,
break?
You can do.
I can do that. Munro went for 6. He was caught. Mahmood bowled Tom Curran. Martin Guptill 33. He was caught. Tom Curran bowled Pat Brown. Seifert was bowled Parkinson, his debut international wicket for 7. He bowled very tidily in his 2 overs. Colin de Grandhomme caught Banton, bowled Tom Curran. Ross Taylor, as we saw, LBW, although it would have missed leg bowled by Mahmood. Jimmy Neesham, he was bowled playing an almighty hoik across the line from Sam Curran. Mitchell Santner run out right at the death there by Billings, and Southey, the not out batsman, for 1. The bowling 1 for 29 or 4 from Sam Curran, 2 for 29 for his brother Tom, 1 for 49, by far the most expensive, going at nearly 13, was Zakleen Mahmood. Pat Brown 1 for 34. Parkinson 1 for 14 from 2, and including, as we said, that debut wicket, and none for 19 from 2 for Lewis Gregory. 180 for 7. England will need 181 when we come back after the innings break.
And as it's going to be about 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, if you can find a 9-10 minute interview.
How about Paras Khadka from the Nepal hurricane match.
How long is it?
It is 10 minutes 29.
That would be perfect. We'll see you shortly, peeps.
It's our pleasure today to welcome to Guerrilla Cricket Paras Khadka, the captain of Nepal, batsman and off-spin bowler, all-rounder. I saw you play, I think, 2 years ago here at Lords.
Yes.
And I should say we were overlooking the vista at Lords where the hurricane relief match is about to take part. Now, one of the players in this match is Sandeep Lamachani. Very young man, but making waves already.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I mean, he's been selected. He's just come from the IPL as well a couple of months back. I'll say 3 months back when he first got selected for the IPL. He made a lot of good reviews, and plus he had his name put forward through one of our person here, Mr. Prashant Kaur, who's been helping Nepal cricket grow in the UK, and so that way got in touch with the people here, and plus with MCC and everybody getting involved with the whole game around here. He's glad that he's got this opportunity. As a cricket player, it's always great, to play at Lords and to play this game and the kind of impact that this game has. It's a relief, it's a charity game, and I hope he does well. So it's good things for us as cricketers from our country.
He's spreading the word about cricket in Nepal, but also what is it about him? What is his magic? He's 17. I think he was spotted at 14 by one of the coaches sort of passing through his region. You'll have seen him at close quarters. Tell us about it.
I think he's a very bright prospect, very young still. He's made a very big impact back home now, especially after he got that opportunity in the last 3 games that he played for the Delhi Daredevils. And he has always come across as somebody who's very, very confident. He always wants to perform, always wants to work hard. So I think there are good things in place. Nepal cricket over the years has done exceptionally well. We've got ODI status now, which is the highest that we've ever reached. So that way, there's enough talent in the country, but it was always about getting the right exposure. And given the right opportunities, I'm sure there are a lot of other cricketers out there who would like to, showcase their talent in front of the whole wide world.
Well, when you played that game against the MCC at Lords in 2016, we had a massive Nepalese contingent here, something like 5,000 fans, and we were also broadcasting it on YouTube, and it ended up at one point of having had something like 270,000 views. How big is the love for cricket in Nepal? Is it growing? Is it continuing to grow?
I think it's already grown to where it's. Obviously, we want the game to grow and more people watching it, but the whole country is into cricket now. Everybody follows the game, the cricketers, what's happening, and with the team doing so well, over the years, we know that. For us, it's become a challenge, yes, to go out there and keep performing. But besides that, I think our fans are one of the best in the world. Why I say that is because besides the test playing countries, and would probably say better than some of the test playing countries, we have more people watching the game at TU grounds that we play back home in Kathmandu. It's full packed stadium every time we play, and 1 million on social media, through the television and through internet following us. So cricket's one thing that has made the country proud, and over the years, like I said, we've produced the right results, and that way everybody is very, very supportive. Everybody wants us to do well, and I just hope we can keep doing well. And one day, I think it's a dream for all of us to become a test playing country, like how Afghanistan and Ireland have got test status, and we've got ODI status now. So hopefully, if we work through these lines in the next probably 5 to 8 years, we want to become another test playing country.
Tell us a little bit about the infrastructure. You talk about Kathmandu. Is that where most of the clubs are based? I don't know too much about the terrain in Nepal, but I imagine it's quite high. How easy is it to have cricket grounds in the country spread around?
I think when people talk about Nepal, people generally perceive it as like Mount Everest and Mount Everest. I think we've got enough space out there to accommodate all of us. We have our plains, we have our hilly regions, we have our mountains, and cricket's played all over the country. Structure-wise, yes, it's unfortunate to say, but we don't have any cricketing structure till date. But having said that, in spite of all the odds, we have managed to come this far, and moving forward, I think we'll have to put up cricket structures in place. There's cricket being played for sure, but it's not structured in a format where there's league system. There are random tournaments that happen all over the country, and we as cricketers go participate in it. And under 19 levels, I think we've done we've beaten teams like India, South Africa, New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So it's just that given the opportunity, I'm sure that the upgradement from under 19 to senior level cricket is that most of the test playing countries, they have their own league where they will play first class cricket. We don't have something like that. So hopefully we can sort that out. Like I mentioned earlier in the conversation, there's enough talent in the country, but it's just about getting that opportunity. We're following in the right footsteps, and hopefully one day, I think we hope to surprise everybody out there in the cricketing world.
What's happening about the National Stadium? And there was a National Stadium being built. What has happened about that? There was some delays.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while. I mean, not a national stadium, but a stadium that was supposed to be done and constructed long time, but there were things that didn't work out. Like I say, we don't have control over what didn't happen, but I think the cricket team over the years, with the kind of results that we have produced, I think now that there are enough people out there who really want to back the game, and moving forward we all have to be optimistic and let's just push ourselves. I think as cricketers we've got that backing from everyone now, and if we can get our management sorted, I'm sure Nepal cricket will even prosper.
What difference will the one-day status mean to Nepal? What
it's the biggest achievement for us so far, because see, now we qualify to play against any country in the world, but it all comes down to how we can schedule it out. Like I said, there's no other country that has the number of people that watch the game besides some of the test playing countries. So for us, any game that we play, whether it's a Nepal versus Hong Kong or a UAE, Ireland, we have I know there are tweets from international cricketers from Ireland who want to come and play in Nepal. Okay. Yeah, and Netherlands and Scotland who have played outside Nepal. So there are good things in perspective.
Will you be part of that qualifying tournament for the Asia Cup as well?
Yeah, we're playing that. We're playing our first ODI against Netherlands on the 1st and 3rd of August. Yeah. So that is after we play the match at Lord's on the 29th of July. I'm sure you guys know about it. The MCC Netherlands and Nepal are playing on the 29th. So after that we're playing our first ODI. So a lot of good and bright things ahead for all of us.
Yes, July 29.
Yeah.
Here at Lord's, MCC, Netherlands and Nepal. Yeah. 3 games played in the same day, 3 T20 matches in the same day. Yeah. So how will you be approaching that particular tournament?
I think it's for us, I think against Netherlands it's a T20 international, so it's going to be serious stuff once you enter the game. Even if we talk about it's a charity game, but once the game starts it's going to be pretty, everybody's trying to outdo themselves and giving their best effort. So for us also it's the same. I think we're representing our country. There's a lot of pride at stake for us, and every time we go out there representing a brand of cricket where we impress everyone, and plus we want people to come and enjoy. I think there's a very big Nepalese community. Very young, started under 15s, under 17s, 19s, and just gradually made it through. Our under 19 teams have done except I've been part of teams that have beaten.
Well, here we go. 9 and over required.
I don't think any of us think they're going to get it, do we?
No, I don't think I fancy us, but there we are.
I'll be interested to see what the odds are.
People that know me would say that I would never fancy England anyway, even if they were.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm afraid so. Yes.
I'm an eternal optimist, I have to say.
Yin and yang.
Indeed.
In adjacent seats here. Well, Tom Banton. Let's see. Well, he's flicked that away quite nicely, but it's well fielded. Short fine, but he scampers through for 1.
Well, England are 15-8, which. In 2-horse race, I'm going to put 5 on it just to make life interesting to the end of the game.
I've lined up Mr. Southey.
What's up, Dad? What's cooking? What's up, Dad? Are you looking for Bugs Bunny bunting? Duck is gonna hunting.
Tim Southey.
What's up, Dad?
Oh, I'd disown that if I was Tim Southey, I think. Dear me.
We have a much better jingle, but as I say, Jingle Nazi Knackle decides what's on the jingle machine. And if you know how to use it, you can find all the better ones. But you see, for all the newbies and the people who don't know how to use it, it becomes a bit tricky.
Well, here is the aforementioned Mr. Southey in again. And David Milan has squirted that away. And he's also off the mark.
And I'll jingle him up as well.
Introducing the next generation David.
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
David Milan, congratulations.
Well, Nipan Dhananjaya thinks it's a beautiful ground, and I have to agree with him. I think there's a lot of beautiful grounds in there. I mean, they're using, I think for the tests and the T20s, there's 7 different grounds, which is pretty cool.
That's driven. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That's exquisite cover drive from Banton. Minimum of effort as well.
Good timing.
Just caressed it through the gap.
Well, there isn't going to be that many people out, is there, in the first 6 overs, so you make hay while the sun shines. They got 41 or 4.1, and then they slowed down for a bit and then picked up again. I guess you can keep wickets in hand, get a decent start.
Well, I think this is the thing about these two, that they're actually capable of scoring runs quite quickly, playing normal cricket shots.
Yes.
And with the field up, it enables you to do that, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
And that's worked away again to mid-wicket. It's just a single.
And here is Mr. Banton.
Is a pure T20 player, and he'll go all the way. He's gonna do better than anyone you see before. This is the only way that he knows how to play. Oh, he's a little champion, Tom Banton.
Well, I like that. That's a Mog special.
I was going to say, is that what we call thrash metal?
Well, yeah, we met.
And that's a trademark David Milan square cut, which has raced away to the boundary for 4.
And the man was just behind square. That's good. 11 off the first over. Up with a rate.
Up and ahead, in fact. So
Ahead of the rate.
They were 9 for 0.
I mean, that's a glorious shot from Milan.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot, wasn't it?
Yep.
Proper cricket shot.
Everybody in Yorkshire will be pleased to see that.
Smack out the middle, look at that.
I have a few messages here.
Middlesex fans crying in their beer.
Yeah, well, you know.
Hey.
George Pope said, "Do you think they want us to be inserted?" No, sorry. He's listened to cricket again after the excitement of the World Series, and his home team won. I guess that was the Nationals. Was that the Washington Nationals?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
I don't know much about baseball. I have to admit.
I suspect you know more than me.
No, probably not.
Here we go.
Could be a race to the bottom, that one, I think, Ben. Oh, Lockie Ferguson. Anything could happen in the next 5 minutes. Here he is to Banton, and Banton's pulled him around to mid-wicket. Jogged through for a single.
And you see, that's this is what I thought Mahmood brought to the team. Was, he's bowling at 146, and Mahmood's bowling at 130, 132, 135 was the fastest ball I saw. And I was told he was, your 90 mile an hour man.
I just think Mahmood looked really stiff and tight all the way through. I just think he bowled nervous. I think that's so he never got any rhythm.
He never got any rhythm, never got any pace. Morgan wants to know, where the hell is my award-winning Saudi jingle? Maybe a lie, definitely bullshit. I don't know. I can find it, but I'm not over there.
Well, anything would be an improvement on the previous one, I think.
Oh, that's Moggs. Don't insult him.
Here is Fergie.
Gonna have to hurry. Whoa.
Yeah, that was quite a tight one. Quite a tight one, but Milan scampered through.
Oh, can someone bring me through my vaping machine from next door? I seem to have left it on the table.
There is vapeless.
I am vapeless. This is bad.
That could be trouble.
It is bad.
That's worse than beerless.
I need both.
Bear can be beerless, but he can't be vapeless.
I can't be eitherless, really.
Oh dear.
Especially at this time in the morning. Crikey.
Here's Ferguson again, and that's
Lovely
lofted.
shot.
That's going to clear the fence.
That's a great shot.
That's gone for 6 over mid-wicket.
Now that was a beautiful pickup shot.
Yeah, it was. Lovely timing.
Quality shot.
Lovely timing. Didn't try and hit it too hard.
He looks really young, Banton. How old is he?
Yeah, he certainly does. You start wondering whether his mum sent him out with a packed lunch, don't you?
So
Really?
it doesn't look like he can grow a beard. Put it that way.
Did your mum send you with a packed lunch?
He's listening out there, peeps. Come on.
Ooh.
Well, packed lunch or not, he's feasting on Lockie Ferguson. He's just edged that down past short third man for 4. So Banton's raced along.
Put the beer there, that's fine.
Raced along to 17 off 7 balls.
I think the fielder could have got that, couldn't he?
I think so, yeah.
It's not the greatest bit of fielding.
Yeah.
Oh, he kind of went over the top of it.
What is it they say? He went down in stages.
Yeah, went down. Yeah.
Yeah, in instalments. Yeah. 17 off 7 for Banton.
Keep it up, boy.
Here's Ferguson to him again. And that's a wide down leg side, so he'll have to bowl that one again.
Oh, we got off a better start than him.
That was the that was the attempted slow ball, I think.
And it was down leg side.
And
Well, Saudi's reason.
I like that one. I like that one.
Saudi's reason thought the pitch would get more grippy as you go along, which I always wonder. If you're bowling only 40 overs an entire day, should it really? But
You might need the spinners to come on to find that out. And that's another wide, I think.
I think it
Or did it actually brush something on the way through?
Brushed something on the way through.
Yeah, it's brushed the pad on the way through, so he gets away with that one. It wasn't particularly well directed, though. Again.
Well, we didn't think their extras would get close to ours, but they're well on the way, aren't they?
No, they are.
Hampton's looked pretty fearless so far.
Which is a good thing. I suppose you've got to come into it. You either stick or you fuck it up.
I suspect somewhere or another, whether he's listening to us or watching it, that my she seems great, a real heart for all forms of the game, other than the 100.
Other than the 100. And she was up at Parliament, wasn't she, for the 100 the ECB thing? And I think it's fair enough.
Well, it's great passion. I mean, whether you agree or disagree, I mean, for somebody to go to those lengths is great. You know,
so new
all power to her. We need people like that.
Oh,
here is Tickner.
Here is Tickner. We finally get a jignal.
Here is
got a horrible
Tickner.
tash.
That's a decent delivery too.
Very like our Lewis.
Takes the inside edge.
Here we go.
I like that.
Quite like that.
I like that one too.
He's got the hairstyle to go with it.
That one can come again. A tickling of the iris for Tickner there.
Absolutely,
wasn't it? Absolutely, yeah. So Banton's raced at 18. Milan 6, but from only 4 balls so far.
Not a lot of strike then.
No.
Decent 4 through the offside.
Starved of strike, one might say. Here's Tickner. That's wide of off stump, but he doesn't get it past cover point. No run there. A rare dot ball in proceedings so far.
Just need to get off and do a good start, not lose a few wickets early.
Well, they're way ahead of the game from the second match, aren't they?
Well, I was going to say, it's certainly a better start than the other night, isn't it?
It was a similar score. It's marginally less, but it wasn't that much less.
That was
a Russ Taylor swipe. Eh?
That was an ugly swipe from Milan, and he's missed it.
Well, he's got a licence to. If you don't lose, I mean, I thought he was a bit. We were a little bit moany about him the other night, but he was a bit hamstrung by the 2 early wickets.
I guess he felt he had to be a bit responsible.
Absolutely, and then wickets did keep falling as well whilst he was still there. So
and then he became too responsible, probably. Yeah. He's not quite timed that either.
Oh, he gave up on that.
And that would have been out, I think, if that had hit.
He did give up on that, but it didn't hit.
4 yards out, he stopped. Basically. Yes.
Dear me. Not.
It was a girly throw, wasn't it? Good God.
In actual fact, I'm not sure it would have been out, even if it hit.
Well, it was so badly thrown.
It was a very bad. Your non-cricketing mate in the school playground trying to throw the ball back in, wasn't it? Really, but here's Tickner again.
Ooh, bowled him.
He's bowled him.
That was probably an unwise decision by Banton. I don't think there was any. I suppose it's in the power play. You got to give it a shot, but
no, it's a shame because he'd started really well as well. He just went right across to the offside and tried to flick it over fine leg and missed the ball, and it's just taken the bail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally an inch higher and he would have got away with it, but
Tickner's happy.
Tickner's happy. And so Banton's
not bad.
No.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Could have been better. It was good fun to watch. It's T20 after all. Vince.
Showed promise, I think we would say.
Indeed. As you said, quite fearless. Picked the ball up, hit at 6, hit at 4.
Here's the new batsman.
James Vince has come to join us. Do you think it's fair to say, chaps, that in terms of Milan and Vince, you've got two experienced players here who neither of whom are
setting the world on
secure
fire
in their places, and so therefore a little bit under the pump in terms of.
Well, Vince did all right in the first game, didn't he? And then fucked it up in the
themselves.
second one. I mean, this is the interminable problem with really short form cricket, isn't it? I mean, can you really set up? You haven't got time to get in. You've got to go for it. I don't think you can really have a go at people who get out playing a silly shot at the T20.
I mean,
you can get upset about it, but the point is that we all know what the game is, and the game is basically slap it as hard as you can for as long as you can. And if you get away with it, whoopee-doo. And if you don't,
in that
you look like
sense,
a twat.
in that sense, then it should suit Vince because it just gives
yes.
him license to do what he does. And
I mean,
if
the ball he got
gets
out to
well, that's just what happens.
I mean, he got
isn't it?
50 odd in the first game, and then got out slapping it down a long up, down long deep mid wicket's throat. The next game, the ball he got out to, he hit it sweetly straight out of the middle, but square straight to the man on the, and there's only two men out. I mean, you're supposed to know where they are. Maybe you wanted to hit it a little bit wider of him, but it was a decent shot, and unfortunately it went straight to the man.
down the throat. Yeah.
Life can be cruel.
The vagaries of the game.
Well, that was the last ball of the over, so Ferguson back into Milan, who drives that one, and he's got it wide of the fielder. He's got it wide of the fielder, and it's gone for four through cover, really. Oh,
And through mid wicket, through wide mid.
wide mid off, I suppose. Yeah.
Was that the skipper looking a bit arthritic?
Well, it's beaten him on his right hand, isn't it? It's actually nicely placed by Milan. But again, one that New Zealand will feel that they should have stopped, I think.
But we're pleased they didn't.
We are delighted, yeah, absolutely. Milan's pulled that one from outside off stump and just gone through for a single as it's gone out to mid-wicket. Which brings Vince into strike for the first time.
The ball got in a bit fairly quick, didn't it?
To Ferguson.
It
did. It was through. It was through on him. I think it was quicker than he thought it was, and
He's a good bowler, Lockie Ferguson, especially at the short form.
Well, I think he's England's equivalent of Archer, isn't he? Really. This is
in terms of pace.
In terms of fiery, venom bowling.
He hasn't quite got the height, no, has he? I mean, Archer was a revelation in the summer, I think.
Great to watch as well.
Yeah, great to watch.
I think he's a magnificent bowler.
I mean, what he did to Steve Smith that no one else could do was quite amazing, to be honest.
Well, he's just got tremendous rhythm, it seems, I'm not quite sure which writer it was that said it, but I thought it was very profound that they said, everything about his approach says hello, and everything about the delivery stride says goodbye.
I like that. That's good.
I thought that was pretty profound.
He's one of those guys as well. You could never imagine him being tense, could you?
No.
No, he's very horizontal.
Chilled.
Yeah.
Supreme belief in his ability, which is a good thing.
Certainly, the one time that I was privileged enough to interview him, I had to turn my dictaphone up to full volume because otherwise you couldn't hear him because he's so sort of
That's cool. I like that.
Which is nice, and he smiles a lot. And good for the game, I think. Really good for the game.
That message is that Phil Davis on Ball by Ball? Good work. No. Introduce yourself.
No, it's John Batham on ball by ball. Thanks for the compliment. That's a great delivery. That's a super delivery. It came right back in, almost cut Vince in half, and went over the top of the stumps. Vince still to get off the mark.
Bit of a slow start for Vince Aero.
Well, that's a rarity.
Yes. Well, they've got 17 overs left. They got off to a decent start the first couple of overs.
Yeah, we're not 2 down after 2 like we were the other night, so much stronger position.
Yeah.
And they were 41 off 4.1.
We're 32.
We're 32, so we're 10 behind already. They can be caught up. They were slow patches for them in the middle.
That's Tickner's tight over that brought that about, isn't it? He's been the one that, and I guess he's probably the most unknown quantity. So, you're kind of looking at him a little bit, aren't you, and thinking,
who is he?
What's he going to serve up?
Absolutely.
So, and again, another dot ball there.
I wasn't looking at his paces. What sort of pace was he rolling? Didn't look particularly quick.
No, I don't think it's particularly quick. But on this pitch, that might be useful.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were saying before, weren't they?
Because he'll get the grip from the surface, won't he? And again, Milan doesn't find the gap.
See, at the end of the match, they'll be running through for a single. I think you should still run through for a single on that.
Well, especially as it bounced off the field.
Yeah,
So he's
I mean, you don't know it's going to do that, but you've got to put pressure on him, haven't you? I mean, you've got a lot of runs to chase. You've got to give that a go.
I'd just like to see David really relax and just play his proper cricket shots.
He can be properly destructive as well.
When he tries to hit the ball too hard, it goes wrong. When he just flows, it's better. See, again, he's tried to hit that too hard, and because he's hit it so hard, it's reached mid-on very quickly, and you can't even run one. So,
although these days they usually do run one of those, don't they?
Well, certainly later in the game they'll run one for that.
well, I think the problem was there. He was on the back foot,
Yeah.
wasn't he? So
Yeah,
therefore,
yeah, yeah.
all his weight's in the wrong place for them pushing forward and running through. So that's difficult. Here's Tickner again. Milan's driven that one, and this time they do go through for a single. The shy at the stumps misses. They think about coming back again for the sort of overthrow, but they don't. I think that's the Grandhomme doing the tidying up. But yeah, only one run from the over, so England are slipping behind the rate here.
Morgan Jeff is saying there's lots of jingle criticism. The joint needs more Perkins for starts, says Mark. I don't think it's criticism, guys. Not at all. It's not so much you, it's...
You wait till I get on jingles, it'll go right mess. I guarantee to wreck it completely. Just another single.
And we are actually having a switch. I don't know what's going on after this. I think I'm going on to ball by ball again.
As a famous Spanish waiter once said, I know nothing.
Yeah, I know nothing.
I know nothing.
I'm going to tweets, I know that.
I think someone else is coming in.
I
think I'm going to jingles. Stand by, everyone.
Whoever is in there and coming in can let us know what's going on.
Lots of frantic hand signals will be about to happen. Oh, that's gone straight up in the air. It's being chased back, but it's beaten everybody. Fielder gets half a hand on it, tied it up, and they run back for two. That was really ugly.
Ugly, but you get away with it in the T20, don't you?
Yeah, that was really ugly.
Right, we shall have a switcheroo. We have a jingle. Who's coming
36 for one.
Yep, you owe us all right. You think this alternative cricket commentary stuff comes cheap? Well, we need some dollar bills to help pay our bills, so please go to patreon.com/GorillaCricket and sign up to make a regular monthly donation. You know there is literally nothing like Gorilla Cricket's coverage, so don't be tight. Dip into your virtual pocket and throw some cash our way. See, Rihanna knows. Patreon.com/GorillaCricket.
Pay me what you want it.
Well, skipper Southey is back into the attack in 36 for 1. He's up to the crease, and Vince gives himself some room outside leg stump. Southey follows him, and he carves it out deep square leg and over a single.
Blair Ticknam was actually bowling pretty sharply for this.
Oh, well, I didn't see the speeds.
They were about 138, 139 k's, so,
so bad,
87 miles an hour.
It's all right. Guptill's getting shoved around in the outfield. Oh,
He's chatting at the moment.
He's chatting on mic.
I mean, I think it was Sam Billings in the first innings who had the big fuzzy mic, sort of black sort of fluffer underneath his.
Oh, heaved, and well, technically
That's
a drop
dropped,
catch,
yeah.
but
It's actually gone for 4.
he's lucky not to have his fucking head taken off. There was Tim Southey as Milan cleared his front foot, slapped it straight back at Southey. He managed to get a defensive hand up. Oh wow! And palmed it past the umpire and then past the two men who were up inside the circle.
That's a face saver.
That is a face saver. Good reactions.
Yeah, I think if you'd been caught out off that, you'd definitely think you'd crossed
bad.
a few black cats, wouldn't you, or something like that?
Southey in, and another clear front leg heave from Milan. Not with that much pace taken off it by Southey, just missed it.
Just nearly not. He's trying to overhit this and not timing it at all.
Well, that's what John was saying. It's,
not relaxing.
It's kind of weird. He's had enough experience in there. I mean, in this squad, he must consider. He's got to consider himself as one of the senior pros, really.
I think it's the pressure of captaincy. You can see he needs to get on with it, and he can't.
Well, he's not captain. That's down leg side. That should be a wide, but it's not been given. That's a bit harsh, actually, because I think that was a bit far down leg side, even though he'd gone across his stumps.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so, considering what gets called in an ODI and a T20. Yeah, I think Milan should consider himself, he's one of the most senior players in this squad, really. Anyway, Southey in. He does connect with that one. Oh, it's really nearly a good effort down there. Now, did that clear? Santa's down there. They're going to have a look at that. 4 or 6. It was flat. If it's a 6, it was a maximum. It's been given as a 4. It's a pretty good shot. Milan 23 off 18. Yeah, no, it bounced short Santa. Good attempted dive.
Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Southey comes in for the last ball of his second over to Milan, who just bunts that up to mid-off. He's on the edge of the circle, and they'll get through for an easy single. He moves on to 24 off 19 and will retain the strike. Vince is 2 off 7.
And that completes the power play. England are 46 for 1. At the same time, New Zealand were 52 for 2. So we're just slightly behind, but we've got wickets in hand. So pretty much even Stevens, I would have said.
9 and over to win from here.
Just doable to T20. And when it comes down to the last 5 overs, if you need, a boundary and over, plus something else, ends up being close.
A boundary and over plus
even
5 singles is 9.
I mean, the other day we dropped loads of catches and we batted quite poorly, but we weren't so far out of it by the end.
The spinners.
Here comes the big test.
This will tell us whether the pitch is dry and gripping.
Which spinner is it? It's this one.
I also think, considering that we had Sam Curran left and we had 2 overs left from Gregory, and Mahmood bowled out all his, that's too short though by Sodhi, first ball. So can't capitalise on Milan, hits it out to the man in the deep and only get a single. But Parkinson he only bowled 2 overs in the end, didn't he?
Yep, 2 overs for 7.
Exactly, that seems a bit odd as well.
No, 2 overs for 14.
14,
he did go for 1-6.
He did go for 1-6. But, he bowled pretty well, I thought. I was quite surprised that he didn't get more. Sodhi comes in, tossed up. Oh, wow. An appeal from behind the stumps. Sodhi didn't appeal.
I'm sure we must have got an edge on that, otherwise it looks absolutely stone dead.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Sodhi didn't appeal. And Vince is looking in a little bit of trouble. I don't know actually.
Actually, he's moved.
He's moved outside his leg stump. Might hit him outside leg stump even. So it's flat, and that's a good shot. Got hold of that, did Vince. He'll feel good about that. Got that out in the middle of the bat. Gave himself some room. It was a bit short by Sodhi. And slapped out to the deep mid wicket boundary and gave himself 4 runs.
It's a slapped 4. It's a 4.
4. Yes.
Super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, rocka, rocka, super shatta.
Certainly not a wacka wacka.
No, if we're quite happy about that. That's decent. Giving a little bit of drift in towards the pads, straight into fraction. And Vince just prodded it out square on the leg side, got himself a single. He's on to 7 off 10. Milan 25 off 20. 52 for 1 England. In the 7th over. Partnership's 25 or 23. I need to up it a little bit. That's a reverse. That's a decent shot by Milan. It was tossed up wide and he went through with a shot anyway. Managed to get the bat through with the ball. Hit fine of the man who was up inside the circle just behind square on a 45 on the offside for Milan and got himself 4 runs.
The difference between that and the ones in the last over was he didn't try and hit it too hard.
Well, that would have been a wide, but he's got it through the offside, past cover, and he's going to get it for 4. So that is worth taking a risk on. Because that would have been a wide. It was tossed up wide and pretty flat by Sodhi. He's gone for 4 fours in it over 3 fours, sorry, 14. Make England feel good. 60 for 1 after 7.
I mean, that's right off the toe, but it's timed so well.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that far off the toe. It's probably just on the bottom of the meat, actually, wasn't it? But the fact that he missed that fielder at extra cover and the man out on the boundary was pretty square meant that it raced away to the boundary. It's a good over. 121 required of 78. 9.31. 9 wickets in hand as the Wasp says we have a 65% chance of doing this. 15 to 8, which I got at the beginning of the innings. It looks quite handy. I imagine that will change as time goes on. There's a couple of beardy, long-haired fellows dance around weirdly in the crowd. It's not exactly rhythmic, is it? But angular dancing.
Oh, and here we go.
Do you think they're doing that for a bet?
I don't know. Probably. They're doing it for the cameras, maybe. Santner is going to come in. He's going to bowl outside the off stump and cut by Vince out to the man on the cover sweeper, and there'll be a single player Majinga.
Santner baby, get some drift into the pads for me. Been an awful good Kiwi. Santner baby, and earth them in quickly tonight.
Well, he's not really known for drifting into the pads, more like darting it into the pads.
Well, exactly.
Although I imagine in this, to the left-hander, he'll be spearing it across him.
Interesting, he doesn't go straight. Down the track comes Milan. Clips it out to deep mid wicket, gets himself a single. Need at least a boundary and over. And a lot of singles in between. And that'll keep us up with a rate, and it could be quite a tight finish if wickets in hand. Vince facing up. That's angled down leg side to the man on the 45. They don't go through for a single on that one there. I mean, that was a dart. Absolute dart. And no run accrued. Santner. An odd run up as well, and an odd action, I think. Hangs it up a little bit. Oh, now has he got away with that? No, he hasn't. I thought he was going to get 4 there. They're going to come back for 2. They do indeed. Angled a little down left side.
He picked out Ross Taylor on the boundary.
No, Ross Taylor was coming around from Cow, I think. He didn't quite get enough of it, did he, to speed it to the boundary. But he was a bit straighter and had to move around, allowed him to get back for 2. Santner comes in off the back foot. Vince beats the man at cover. There is a sweeper out there, obviously, and they'll just get themselves the single. Need the boundary off the last ball of the over, really. Ideally. They're going to get strangled here by the spinners, although Sodhi, I suppose, went 14 in the last over, so he might not get the second over in a row. Santner was good for the Kiwis in the World Cup. And that's full. And on the toes of Milan, clips it out to deep mid wicket. An abundance of fielders out there. And it will only be one to end that over.
It's a good controlled over.
66 for 1 it was, yeah.
Any tweets?
6 off that, 14 off the last, 20 off the last 2, 10 and over.
Any tweets?
Tweets?
Seem to
They're
have
all
gone
dried up.
seem to have gone rather quiet here.
Yeah.
People have gone to sleep.
They've all gone
they've
to
got
sleep.
to that nasty little sort of.
Well, somebody tweeted in and said good morning, and somebody else immediately tweeted in and said good night. So I don't, hey,
it's a T20 in New Zealand.
it's a work day tomorrow here.
Not for me.
Not for me. I'm going to sleep after I get home.
There's no way I could survive.
Thankfully, I'm
a
going to
work
miss
day
the
tomorrow.
kids getting up for school, and I shall get up around midday.
Well, that's probably the best thing in the world, that you are asleep once they're crashing around in the morning.
Well, normally I'm not. I had a bloody migraine this morning.
Well, you're right. Sodhi is not going to get the second over. It's going to be this bloke.
Whoops, oh look, here comes another slow ball.
Jimmy Neesham gets first ball. It's carved over the top of cover. Good fielding out on the boundary though. Guptill out there, I think it was.
No, it's Santner.
Oh, is it Santner? And they'll only go single. Good hit by Milan, well timed, but couldn't beat the man out in the deep.
Santner does a lot of boundary riding because he's got a really good arm and he's quick across the ground.
I wonder what temperature is it? Does anyone know what temperature that is? Someone wants to tweet in and tell me. I reckon it's probably 18, 20 degrees. I don't think it's that hot.
But windy.
Wind chill factor probably brings it down to about 12. Basically, it's a April, May afternoon, isn't it? Vince beats the man at backward point, and that is a good shot, but good fielding again. Is that Santner again? No, it's not, is it? Maybe that's the dude, the bowler.
Tickner? No.
Tickner? No?
Don't think so. It might be.
He seemed quite tall and rangy. Mahmood there talking with Rashid on the boundary.
What did I do wrong?
Oh shit, mate. Not fast enough.
Does he want us to answer that?
Vince faces up, cuts it again, squarer, probably straight to the man this time indeed, and get himself a single. Needs some boundaries. Well, I won't panic yet. I didn't get it within 100 in the last 10 with wickets in hand. Question is when those wickets fall, it's always a problem. And who falls. Neither of them are lighting up the sky with their rate. Vince hasn't got over 100 yet, and Milan's marginally over. As long as they stay there and pick it up, it's good. If they get out, not so good.
Then they've just compounded the problem.
Indeed. Neesham in. Oh, that is a good heave. That's gone all the way. Good shot by Dawa Milan. He's picked that up. It's full ball, not particularly slow, and he's in his. Oh, actually, it was 110 k's, so it was a slow ball, but he's picked it and he slapped it over cow corner. Big 6. Lovely shot. T20 often reminds me of sort of the club game where you come up against a really good bowler who's obviously too good to be playing in the side that you're playing against, and so it doesn't really matter what you bowl, he just slaps you about, and that's kind of what T20 is all about. In Neesham it's in, and that's thrown up wide. Beautiful drive by Milan, gets himself 4 off the next ball. This is good batting. Darren Milan has shifted on. He's 46 off 27 all of a sudden. England are 80 for 1 off 8.5, and they're looking good here. It was out the back of the hand, or out the side of the hand, and rolled his fingers across it. But rolled it across Milan, and it was pretty full, and then in the slot, and he just drove it sweetly.
The previous ball that went for 6, the guy with the blue cap in the crowd was a pitcher. He was fearing for his life, thinking, it's coming straight for me, I'm going to die.
Got to catch it, mate. Anyway, last ball of the over. And it's full and on his pads. But he beats the man up inside the circle, which is Sodhi, but he can't meet the man back there. Ooh. Takes him out. Takes him out. Madame Milan coming back. Slide in tackle. Feet first.
That
takes out the
is
keeper.
the archetypal dive for the bloke in a baseball game.
Yeah, totally.
Take out the
Take his legs away from him, and he did. But he gets back for 2. That was a good over for England. 8-2 for 1 off 9. 9 off. We're going over 9 runs and over, which is pretty much up at a rate.
But they're all up and grinning and joking about it, so it's all taken in good.
It's all good. Did anyone see that did anyone see the Everton game and the horrible broken ankle? I didn't see the ankle, but I thought Son was a bit unlucky. I don't think it was the worst tackler in the world. He kind of tapped his ankle, doesn't he? But then when he jumped, his foot got stuck at the turf. It wasn't the worst tackle. He just clipped his ankle, but he landed awkwardly, and horrible finish.
Well,
Santner in bowls.
I'm not
flat.
a Tottenham fan, but that's never a red card in a million years.
No, I don't think so either.
Not in a million years.
Driven back to Santner as he bowls his second ball.
And the trouble is, the wording of the reasoning that said, well, he endangered the opponent. Well, so does any tackle.
Well, indeed, and
So-
he wasn't in danger when he tapped his ankle. It's only when he landed and went over on it.
I mean, if you do that, you're going to end up with 6 aside at the end of the game. That's the problem.
Indeed. Next ball bunted up to long off by Vince. They get themselves through for a single. Milan's back on strike.
You won't end up with 6 aside because once it goes below 7, you don't have a match.
You abandon the game.
True,
Yeah, that's right.
true.
Absolutely.
Santner around the wicket to left-handed Milan, who carves that again through extra cover. They should
50.
get back for 2. Didn't quite strike it hard enough to get to the boundary, but the angle was there. If he'd left that, it would have been a wide, to be fair. And he's got a 50. Well done, Darwin Milan. Good lad.
50 runs.
29 deliveries,
50
too.
runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done.
Santner, that's tossed up on the leg side. It's probably a free hit, and I think Milan's eyes lighted up there. But he didn't connect with it. And
Was the one.
It was the one that could have gone out the stands, but he didn't get hold of it. Instead, hit it into his front leg, and there's no run. 2 balls left in the over. Oh, that's a good little dinky shot. He just premeditated. His eyes are in, and he just dropped in the crease, set himself to just scoop it over the keeper, which he managed to do. Very fine. There's no one down there, obviously. It's 4 runs. Good shot. Probably what Bantam was trying to do, but off his faster bowlers. We'll have a change after this ball. I know I'm heading out. Yep. Down the track comes Milan and drives it up to mid-off, long off, and there is a single. We'll have a switcheroo. 90 for 1 England after 10 overs. Are you coming in here, Steve? Steve is going to take you through the next 5 overs. These two are going to switcheroo. Tony's decided to have a load of fucking overs off. Anyway, he'll see you shortly. Until then, goodbye.
Yep, you owe us all right. You think this alternative cricket commentary stuff comes cheap? Well, we need some dollar bills to help pay our bills. So please, go to patreon.com/GorillaCricket and sign up to make a regular monthly donation. You know there's literally nothing like Gorilla Cricket's coverage, so don't be tight. Dip into your virtual pocket and throw some cash our way. See, Rihanna knows. Patreon.com/GorillaCricket.
So we have swapped round, and it's Sodhi bowling to Milan. Drives us straight to mid-off, and there's no run there. And on my right, on jingles, I've got John. Who's,
Yeah, this will be fun.
yeah. And to my left, reading the tweets, is our inestimable Jason.
Well, welcome again.
Ooh, so
bang.
Sodhi with a full toss straight in the air, and he's caught in the deep, and that is the end of Milan's innings. 55 off 33 balls, caught by Martin Guptill off the bowling of Sodhi.
That would be the result of the bear saying he's got his eye in.
Yes.
Kiss of death from the bear, and then he leaves the
scene. The scene of the crime.
Well, whilst he's looking for the jingle, wickets is the one you want to look for.
Yeah.
I shall.
There you go. One at the bottom. Yeah.
There's lots of stuff to get through.
Oh, good. Far up.
Jeff Perkins says lots of... here we are. Says there's lots of jingle criticism tonight, and Mog says this joint needs more Perkins for a start. Jeff Perkins says yes, there would be more dubious jingles so far that would cause a reassessment, all right. And Armchair Cricket Podcast says just before that over, looks like a cracker in the making, but not if Sodhi keeps bowling how he just did. Talking about his first over where he got slapped. Santner, on the other hand, could make a difference. He took 3 in each of the previous games with a run rate of 6.25. Yes, Santner is a very capable performer, especially when he's given license to control the innings like he with very accurate bowling.
Indeed. So the new batsman for England is the skipper, is Morgan. The batsmen have crossed, so it is Vince to face the third ball of this Sodhi over. He's in full ball, it's flicked away into the leg side. They're looking for 2. Ball is whipped in, and it's only 1 run added to the total. So the new batsman is
this man here. So I think we know it's Owen Morgan.
It's Owen Morgan. Sodhi in, and Morgan just clips that into the leg side, jogs through for a single.
Well, he can't do much having a look at the ball. He's going to have to start bashing fairly shortly because they're just a little bit behind.
Halfway to their total and a little bit over half their overs. So it's going to be. I think it's building up to quite a good finish actually. If Morgan gets going as well. So Sodhi strolls in past the umpire. Nice full length ball again. Vince clips it into the leg side, and they do rush through for 2 runs. It's easy in the end because there's a misfield by the New Zealand fielder. 2 to the total, 94 for 2.
Well, that illustrates what Bear was saying earlier, really, that you need to put pressure on the fielder, and they made up their mind they were going for 2, and he saw them out of the corner of his eye, I think, and fumbled the ball.
Bear is always right.
Ah.
You wouldn't want to argue with a bear.
No, I think not.
Sodhi with the last ball of the over. Oh, it's slightly uppish. Fortunately, bounces in front of the fielder. Back to the wicketkeeper. No run.
Yeah, it was a thick edge down to the third man.
I was always taught that you never argue with anybody that's bigger than you unless you can run faster than them.
Very sensible advice, I have to say there, Joe.
As a fairly little man, I learnt to run quite fast.
Oh dear. Any good news on the tweets, Jason?
Mog says maybe it's quiet because it's the boring overs, the ones where England bat.
Oh, harsh.
And Jeff Perkins replies, do you mean the ones where there is a sober bear? Don't think we ever had a sober bear on air.
Soberish is about as good as we get, isn't it? So.
Yeah, soberish is aspirational rather than mandatory.
Bear was asking about the temperature, and Tony did check. It was apparently 20 degrees.
Oh, warmer than we thought.
Yes. So it's Santner into bowl. Morgan just pokes this out into the offside. It's a single.
And he's just chopped that into the ground with no real power and just jogged down the other end because it's into a nice hole because they're all guarding the boundaries.
Yes. The field is fairly well spread.
I think Morgan has previous for hitting over the boundaries.
He's good at it, yes. Santner in again. It's wide outside off stump, spins even further away. Not giving us a wide, taken by Seafoot behind the stumps. He's whipped the bails off. No danger to the batsman. He certainly got quite a bit of turn, but that ball's so far outside the line of off stump. It's never really going to endanger the batsman.
I think if looks could kill, the umpire would be in danger from Vince there. Yes. That was quite a stare, wasn't it?
Well, he was at full length and it still went past the bottom of the bat, so he had a point, I think, there, James. Anyway, no change to the score or wicket. Santner reorganising his field.
We're slipping behind the rate here.
Santner in. Very full ball right under the bat. Vince can only poke it back down the track to the bowler. However, Morgan looking very relaxed.
Jeff Perkins says, I'm not sure about this positive theory of Ursine infallibility. I didn't say that, I just said you don't argue with the bear.
Ursine is a fine word, isn't it? This ball over...
Yes, he doesn't have to be right, you just don't argue with him. You just tell him he's right.
So Vince with a strong shot over cover point. Comes through for 2 runs.
Yeah, they had to scramble for 2. I think a better throw, that would have been quite interesting. It was picked up well, but in the throw immediately leaving his hand, he had to throw it just wide.
Santner again. This is
Shot.
swept this time by Vince. This one will beat everybody to the boundary for a 4.
Very much needed 4 as well.
Yeah, nice shot. Very actually. Santner in, last ball of the 12th over. It's very short. Vince just picks this up, hoiks it through the mid-wicket boundary, and that's another 4. So yes, a very strong into that over for England.
Well, they were very much needed, weren't they? Because we were slipping behind the rate there.
England have gone through the 100. They're 105 for 2. Comparative score, New Zealand were 101 for 3. So the game's warming up very, very nicely, I think.
Close to call.
Yes. It is a beautiful setting, this ground, isn't it?
So look, the mountains looks like an absolutely fantastic sports arena with the athletics track next door, rolling parkland, and a nice set of sort of mountainous hills. Not too big hills, but nice hiking hills in the background.
It was quite dusty earlier on, wasn't it? There's dust being chucked up from those roads that you can see at the top there, but it seems to have calmed down a little bit. We've got a very long aerial view shot of the ground at the moment. There doesn't seem to be very much happening actually on the pitch. But it's Tickner back into the bowling. He's 2 overs, 1 for 6. Been extremely economical, and England have found it very difficult to get him away. But in he comes. And Morgan is not messing around. He's dancing down the wicket. He doesn't get very good contact on it. It's off his pads, I believe. And the England batsman just jogged through for a very easy single. Now, off the inside edge onto his pad. So another single to Morgan. Because we like the Tickner jingle. It's so good. So we do need it. We do need it lined up.
And a little bit of swagger. That's what this boy brings. Let's take now.
Yeah, I do like that one.
We do like that one.
That one can stay.
So he's in. To Vince. Big shot through the offside, past a diving, despairing dive of mid-off to the boundary for 4.
Eins, 2, 3, 4.
He'd be given his the width there to throw his hands through that, and with no footwork, he's just gone like a rocket.
And this is pulled very strongly into the crowd for a 6 over mid-wicket. Fantastic shot from James Vince. He's beginning to accelerate very nicely. Yeah, he's beginning to accelerate very nicely, actually. 38 off, I think, 26 balls now. Lovely shot.
Did he catch it? Did he catch it?
No. Nowhere near it.
Rubbish attempt. Was that a kid trying to desperately get out of the way of it in front?
I think someone shouted to him because I don't think he was watching, actually. He was just running, wasn't he? This time, Tickner to Vince. Vince dances down the track. They're looking for 2. And they're going to have to hurry a little bit, but actually they make it quite safely. That's been a very strong over for England. They've taken 11 runs so far off this over.
13 runs.
13 runs, I apologise.
And there's 2 balls to go.
Over, 2 more to go. England score up to 118 for 2. Vince on to 40 off 29 balls. Morgan still quietly going along on 3 runs off 3 balls.
Well, he doesn't need to go big yet if Vince is opening up.
Ticking along nicely. Again, Vince dancing down the track, pulls it very hard through mid-wicket. I think that's Santner out in the deep, whizzes it in, it's just a single.
I mean, this is the way that a lot of teams win matches, is that you have one guy who's feeding the strike whilst he's getting in, and the other guy just goes big.
Indeed.
And then when he gets out, then the other guy's played his way in and he can start going big.
Yeah, I mean, England,
and the new guy just keeps on feeding him to get strike. It's partnerships like that win matches.
Awful force. That ball really did rear up at Morgan, past the outside edge, straight through to the wicket-keeper. No runs.
I think that over is an illustration of why sometimes people get so frustrated with Vince, because when he does things like that, he makes it look ridiculously simple, and you think, well, if it's that simple, why can't he do it more often?
And all the time, quite frankly.
And all the time, yeah. And then he goes and plays some ridiculous shot.
Armchair Cricket Podcast has come back to it and says, hashtag Ursine infallibility, hashtag smells like sycophancy. That sounds like
it's very, very
smells
accurate.
Like
Teen Spirit.
Yes, a Nirvana song.
That's what you're looking for. So Ferguson coming back into the attack for New Zealand. 2 overs so far, 0 for 18, so probably not quite as economical as he would have expected. So, here he comes. Vince has a big swipe at that, out to a deep mid-on. It's just 1 run.
Yeah, Vince is annoyed that he didn't get more of that, I think.
Yeah, it was a fairly rank long hop, wasn't it?
He is looking now to hit every ball for bonus runs, I think.
England moved to 120 for 2 in the 14th over, chasing 181 to win this 3rd T20 international against New Zealand. Series at 1-all, so an important game to win. Some fielding manoeuvres. Yes, he's bringing his 3rd man round a bit. Ferguson sets off. Past the umpire. Short ball. Morgan just dabs it into the leg side, and they scamper through for a single.
It's another one of Lockie Ferguson's patented looks quick but actually isn't very quick balls.
Yes.
He's got this very quick arm action, and sometimes the ball comes out with nowhere near as quick as the arm action would suggest.
Interesting to see what his speeds have been like, because our disappointment with Mahmood was that he was only down in the sort of 135 to 136, wasn't he? Ferguson looks like he's been quicker than that.
Well, on his day, he's the quickest person in New Zealand, I think.
I would have thought so. Right, he's given that everything, Ferguson. That was quick. Vince has slapped this back to that deep mid-on, and they jogged through for another single. So
that was 145.3, so that's 91 miles an hour.
Yeah, that looked quick. There was certainly a bent back in that ball, wasn't there? Morgan prepares to face.
Look how far back he is in the crease.
Quite well back in the crease, isn't he? Ferguson on his way. Another fast ball, which Morgs just sort of swipes at, tries to pull through the leg side, completely misses it. The ball goes through to the keeper. No run.
Yeah, that one was 139.
Yeah, he sees.
So it was quickish, but not as quick.
It was quite
short.
I think
actually, it was the bounce length that did Morgan, I think.
Yeah, 144, 142, 145, 139 so far. So these have been markedly faster than Mahmood was bowling out earlier in the.
I think they're markedly faster than anybody else bowling today, to be fair.
But then Ferguson's more established in the New Zealand side, isn't he? And he's more relaxed, so he's got more rhythm and fluency, I think.
Full toss. Morgan only manages to find the fielder at mid-on. No run there either. So the score's sort of stagnating in this over. Three singles.
For New Zealand.
Three singles so
good.
far is all they've managed. Good riposte here from Ferguson.
We've had a riposte from Messages about that, from that Perkins Ursine infallibility. He says, "You are permitted to doubt the theory of Ursine infallibility. However, there will be consequences." And sends a picture of after this ball.
Yes, Morgan just dabs this away behind square on the offside, and the batsman crossed for a single. That's the end of that over. We've now got the ads on.
There's a picture of a polar,
a panda.
A panda bear with a Gatling gun.
A strange combination.
Yes.
So just about 10 and over required.
Indeed, 9.67, 123 for 2 at the moment. Runs required 58. Wasp is predicting 76%, so it's fairly positive.
I guess it's the 8 wickets in hand, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the thing.
I always wonder whether that overestimates the potential of batsmen to score runs coming in if you lose a wicket.
I suppose it must be sort of predicated on the fact that the batsman's already in and you've got a better chance of getting the scores. So if wickets start falling, then that percentage
will fall
drop away.
rapidly. Yes, indeed.
It's a very volatile index. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So Santner back into the attack for his final over, and Morgan has said thank you very much and just gently dispatched that over the mid-wicket boundary for a very, very comfortable 6.
Nobody in the crowd has caught it.
They've dropped it again.
They've dropped it again.
It's been a shot.
Been struck by the bats. The ball pitches beyond the boundary. It's a 6.
Santner in the second ball is wide outside the off stump. He saw Morgan start dancing down the wicket and changed his flight, but too much. So one more wide onto the score.
Wide.
Morgan was more in danger actually of being stumped there than anything else. He was so far down the track.
Well, you've got to be an awfully good keeper to get back back to the stumps in a decent time.
Santner in, and Morgan has just repeated the medication of the first ball, and it's in almost exactly the same part of the crowd. They've done exactly the same thing and not caught it.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Excellent shot. We're just watching that in slow motion. That's come right out of the middle of the crowd. No,
I think
one hand and
I think the crowd over there thought that because they'd had the one for the over, they were safe, and then it went and found them again, didn't it?
Oh, it's hurt his hand, poor lad. Anyway, Santner in again. And again, adjusting for a presumed movement from Morgan, which actually didn't materialise, and again has fired it very wide off the off stump. Santner in again, a big hoik from Morgan through to the same part of the field, all the way along the ground, or predominantly along the ground. But the fielder was there to cut it off, and England have crossed for just the single on that.
Ruined the sequence. It was gone 6 wide, 6 wide.
1. Doesn't quite work, does it, anymore? But hey. So Morgan has galloped suddenly onto 18 of the 11 balls that he's faced. Vince is on 43 from 32 and facing Santner. A firm uppish shot over the nearby fielder, fielded in the deep mid opposition, straight back into the bowler's hands. Santner rubbing away, having a cogitation with his skipper Saudi at the moment. What are they discussing, I wonder?
How often do we say that about Morgan, though, that he seems to start slowly and then all of a sudden he's got nearly 2 runs a ball because he's
that good.
He just has that acceleration, doesn't he? That
Santner in. Outside the off stump, Morgan misses it. Seaford gathers. And there's no change to the
good
score.
zippy arm
last
ball.
of the 15th over coming up. Sackler's last ball, this one of his allotted 4 overs. And Morgan has hoiked this into
Straight into the
arms
hands.
of deep mid on. And that is the end of Morgan's innings. A very good 18. England 139 for 3 at the end of the 15th. And we are going to have a swapperoonie here in the studio. We'll be back shortly.
Oh, I've been. Well, that was disappointing. After an initial start, Morgan was just starting to get going and held out right to the boundary. Couldn't have picked him out any better, really.
No, not at all. Shame, really. He was just starting to pick it up. But how many? We've got 7 wickets left and 5 overs. Everyone's just got a swing now, haven't they?
We've got to get 40 runs in 5 overs.
9.
41 runs.
Just about 8 and over.
Which is eminently doable.
Eminently doable in a T20.
Messages
especially with
says,
this amount of wickets in hand.
It's noticeable that the Kiwi crowd value their beer a lot more than using both hands to make a catch.
Very true, very true. The man out there definitely had
they had that competition where you had to catch it one-handed.
Yeah, that was the World Cup. You had to have a target T-shirt.
Yeah.
And you caught it one-handed in the crowd on
And
TV.
then you were put into the draw for a million.
It was a lot. It was
$1 million New Zealand dollars.
So do we think that wicket has just slightly edged it New Zealand's way?
No, I'd still say it's pretty even. I think we're a little bit ahead. I think we're a little bit ahead of where we need to be. And so dropping a wicket will slow us down a fraction.
Well, Tim Southey is going to come into the back into the attack. He's got none for 21 from his 2. Sam Billings is the new man at the crease. Southey is right arm over in, pulled by Vince. He doesn't really get hold of it. It bobbles away to mid-wicket. They can only take a single. And Billings will get himself straight on to strike.
Well, Wasp was at 76% before that wicket, so I think it'll be back a lot closer to 50% now.
Yeah,
I'm going to try this.
Billings is...
No, I'm not.
That's Tim Southey.
Yeah, I know.
Were you looking for Billings?
No.
Okay, well either way, it is Billings who can face. He's yet to face a ball. He's going to face the aforementioned betoothed Tim Southey. His hair is swept back as he's in, drops it short. And Billings just guides it down to Ish Sodhi, who's down there at third man. They take another single. 141 for 3.
I'll give Billings a jingle.
Stroking the ball through the covers, pinging it deep through backward. Billings is softly scoring runs. Billings is softly hitting long, laying his own shots. I did too.
And this one is hoiked, but it's hoiked down to long on, and again it's just a single. England, it's quite odd. It's almost as if England go through little mini spells.
Well,
like they'll get a spell of 4 or 5 balls where they're clubbing it everywhere, and then suddenly the New Zealand seem to remember what their job is, and the lock goes back on.
Well, you ride your
and then
luck.
England unlock it again.
You kind of ride your luck in T20 though, don't you? And you swing it,
you
you get it right, and then you get it wrong.
Billings,
You know?
Billings just the one from so far, and that one takes him too high. He's herring
Oh,
off,
he's out.
and he's gone. He
I'm
was halfway down the
pretty
track.
certain he's
New
out.
Zealand are jumping, dancing, cuddling, generally having a bit of a love-in. Billings, I think there is no doubt he'd gone. He was sent back. Probably the run was never there in the first place. And England have lost another wicket.
Pressure coming
and
on.
The pressure is on.
There must be a run out here. Oh, how tragic. How tragic, how tragic, how tragic.
He was out by
he
a
knew
good 2.5, probably 3 feet. And I don't think there was ever for a second any doubt about that.
Excellent.
Why we're waiting for a decision? No, it's just an excuse to advertise GJ Gardner.
I'm going to try this jingle.
It's only a whimsical notion to fly with Tim Southey tonight. I probably won't fly with Tim Southey. And again.
dear, that was a poor decision.
A lot is riding on the shoulders of James Vince now. Milan did very nicely for his 50, but hold out, didn't he? And
pretty much as soon as the pair left the... he said he was
there.
going well, and then left him having pulled the plug, and commentators cursed him.
The Ursine curse.
Well, don't fucking blame me, man. Jesus. Next man in? Is it Lewis?
It might be Lewis Gregory, or it might be Sam Gunnan. And to be honest,
we don't know.
I'm not sure yet. It is Sam.
It's the little Sammy.
Is he a better bowler?
Sam Curran.
What's his distinguishing feature?
Sam Curran.
He's not from Zimbabwe.
Sam Curran.
And he's below the Miley's Yates.
Sam Curran.
Didn't bat, of course, at the Hagley Oval, and was 9, only made 9 at the Cake Tin. Southey's beaten his outside edge. Curran was looking to run that down to third man. Southey shaped it back in at him. And
That looked like he was done for pace there, but it was only 132 kph.
To finding an edge.
He was trying to run it down, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was trying to run it down. And,
but he's late on the shot.
Yeah, of course he was.
Well, it's so
first
easy.
ball, isn't it?
It's so difficult to hit your straps literally right from the off.
And they train for it, but it's still not easy.
Well, no, indeed. Southey's bowling from the Richmond end. He's in, right arm over. That one again is almost an identical situation. Curran was looking to run it. The ball just did a little bit too much for him, and it was through to Seifert. And that's 2 dot balls. Nothing slows down a run rate like
a wicket.
Losing a wicket, and that has very much been the case. We're losing Steve. He's not going to stay. He's not going to be man enough to stay to the end. But there we go. He's off into the dark Sydenham night. The mean streets of South East London.
Aye.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be on that shortly.
39 is what England need. They're not on the mean streets. They're in the very beautiful green pastures.
And it's a very beautiful
the
place.
Saxton Oval in Nelson. Slap bang in the geographical middle of New Zealand at the top of the North Island, with the Tasman Sea just away to one side of the ground in this gorgeous complex. In comes, a horrible ball from Tickner.
I think he's got away with that, hasn't he?
I think he might have got away with it. It seemed to get sort of stuck in the...
That's not a no ball.
The midriff of
it. It is a local toss, but
it's a local toss. It got on thigh pad.
I quite
Vince,
like what I've
Vince
seen.
looks aggrieved, but don't think
I like a lot of
playing about
Tickner.
that.
He seems to have a fair amount of variety to his bowling. Not sure I like the work of his barber, but I quite like the cut of his bowling.
It's a bit floppy, isn't it?
He's in again, and this was swung through by Vince, but it'll only go to mid-off, and they will only get a single. And suddenly, both the handbrake and the foot brake are being applied simultaneously by New Zealand here.
I think they need to calm here.
Yeah, I think Vince is trying to hit the ball too hard.
I think the situation here requires that you need 3 sixes and a 4 in what amounts to nearly 22 balls. And I think if you're smart in a T20, you hit them, and the rest is just doubling it around.
Oh, there you go. Why the Bear isn't out there as coach?
We see it so often in the IPL. You think, oh God, 10 and over. Jesus, it's not that easy.
It's true.
And they double it around for 1, but there's always 1 and over. If you're going to do it, you get that one connects and it flies, and And the thing is, in this game, you're taking the chance pretty much all the time.
Tickner again. Oh, and that's an absolute stinker of a ball. That was almost a double wide.
Wide.
To be fair,
Always extras.
Seifert did a pretty good job leaping away to his left to prevent any further damage than just the one, because that really was wide. The floppy mop top. Tickner turns at the top of his run. He's in. And Curran just pushed this away into the offside. Vince was setting off like a hare, and very quickly realised there was no chance of a run, and unlike Billings, had not overcommitted and was able to turn back. 144 for 4.
Need a boundary.
And then need another boundary. But Vince has been able to lob it over the top. This one, though, is more guided by Curran, but it's guided straight to point, where the Ross Taylor sort of falls on it, flops on it almost.
This is where Vince
just a single.
Has to, you know, is he going to get us over the line? He's the man in. He's faced 37 balls.
Or is he going to overswing and get bowled?
And
he's done quite well.
Said with such pessimism over there in the corner.
Voice of doom, Jason Hiscox. In comes Tickner. Good full ball. Vince has to dig it out from under his toes.
That's a good
it's
shot.
Down to long on though. They should get 2. Indeed they do. So we've had a single,
one
a
left
wide,
in the
2
over.
dots, a 1 and a 2 in this
6.
over. The Bears calling it.
No, that's 5, isn't it?
Oh, we've had 1, 2,
5 with 1 ball left.
Yes, that's right, because of the wide.
Got to get a boundary here. 4's okay, 6 will be sweet.
Need a boundary there.
4 will keep us out with a rate.
About to finish the 70, unless it's another wide, of course. In comes Tickner, full, uppishly,
Ouch.
straight to mid-off.
Hell.
Southey takes it.
We could have called it.
Hands above his head. And Vince, I'm afraid, has gone.
That's so predictable. It's just unbelievable.
Well, Vince is looking back. I mean, I'm afraid it was just a...
I mean, he had to take the chance, it's true.
He did. He didn't quite get enough
You
of
know,
it.
he needs to get a little bit more elevation. Man was up in the circle.
4. Hit it a bit straighter.
Yeah, or, yeah.
Vince may well have just been thinking, if only I was the fielder for that. There's a
We'd
fair
have scooted-
chance.
we'd
There's
have
a chance I
scooted
might
through for a
still be in the
single,
game.
I'd still be in.
Exactly. If I could have run round and attempted to catch that, then I'd still be here.
Now we haven't got Chris Jordan to give it some humpty here.
Well, we don't.
Oh, no,
Although we do have Lewis Gregory.
Gregory gives it some humpty,
And
doesn't he?
Lewis Gregory is a good finisher, so you ask the Somerset fans. I doubt if...
This is what we hear. This is a chance to stamp your mark. Here's, give him a jingle.
Oh, come in up next. Gregory's bowling in the match today.
Lewis Gregory it is.
Gregory's bowling today.
Still got Tom Curran to come, of course, who can...
Give it some
give
humpty.
it a
We've only got
bit.
3 overs left, and we need what? 64? Sorry, 24.
Made 15.
12 and over.
15 at the Cake Tin. Did
34.
Lewis Gregory.
Off 3. My maths is totally off, Jason.
And took 1 for 10.
Armchair Cricket Podcast says, wow, there's a double breakthrough and the contest comes alive.
Yeah.
In comes the demon child to stoke the fires, talking about Sam Curran.
Well, it is, that's right. Well, Sam Curran is there, but he's got a man on naught with him who's yet to face. And from having batsmen...
It is second T20 international?
It is for Gregory, yes.
And
he
this
did play at
man,
the Hagley Oval, but remember he didn't bat and didn't bowl. He just got the thanks for turning up award.
this is the last over on this man.
Stuttering start to his run. In comes Ferguson. And that one, the bat is dropped on it by Curran. They take a quick single. Gregory would be on strike.
See, if Jordan came and hit 3 6s now, that'd be sweet.
Well,
but he's not
it would
playing.
change things, but
Can we have a concussion replacement, please?
yes, you have to have someone with concussion first.
Not badly concussed, just enough to get them out of the match.
Although the way the IPL rules are likely to be changing, which I presume might dictate the way the rest of the world plays the game, they're changing the substitution rules, aren't they? You can have tactical substitutions
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah.
No, no.
No, we've tried that in 50 over matches
Yeah,
before.
it was poor. It didn't work.
Ferguson, anyway, is in short, and Gregory was looking to pull, and he was through with the shot too soon. I'm not sure it was that much of a slower ball. I think he just mistimed it.
134 is quite a lot slower than what
Yeah,
Ferguson's been
okay,
bowling.
well, that fooled him and it fooled me. He's got a real fast bowler's arse, hasn't he, Lucky Ferguson?
Yeah.
Calipigus, I believe is the phrase.
Lots of pies, I think.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, I was thinking you were looking at his arse.
I was. The Kalipagis. Oh, he's bowled him.
Dear, oh dear.
Kalipagis arse or not. Gregory's gone. And the wheels are cascading off the clown car. And England are struggling, and they showed so much promise. But it's all rather dissipating now.
Well, it does have to be said, there are only, what, 16 balls left?
Yeah.
15? Well, you know, someone can still swing.
But that's just pressure. I mean, there's nothing
there is
special about that ball at all. It's angled in. It didn't really move.
Well, it's his first ball, wasn't it? Second ball.
Second ball.
Well, you just look at the what ifs, don't you now? I think from England's perspective, if
absolutely
Milan had stayed there for 20 or 30 more, England would have been home or home.
We always knew it was quite a hard score to chase.
Morgan had. But they set off so well. It's sort of almost more disappointing. Well, we have a brace of Currans.
Well, they had a brace of Currans opening. And
they open the bowling. Can they somehow see England home in this one with the bat?
Let's give them a jingle.
The most effectual top cat, who's intellectual, close friends get to call him TC.
Well, TC it is, who's going to be facing Lockie Ferguson. And he's up onto his toes and he guides this down to his Sodi at third man. They just take a single and will bring Curran S on to strike.
They need a boundary in the last two balls. It's over and a single. And they need
Smaller Curran is the bigger hitter, potentially.
Yeah.
The smaller one being which one?
Sammy. Sammy's
the smaller one, is he?
Well, I think so.
Well,
maybe
Jason's
not.
a man who watches them with
I
great
think
frequency.
It's slighter, maybe he's taller, but
I think the smallest one is actually Ben, but the middle.
Well, of the two who are here, it's Sam that's going to be facing anyway. We know that. Short, slapped.
Oh, has he got enough?
Slapped. He hasn't got enough.
That's the game.
Straight. And well, who's that? Is that Colin Monroe? No. Well, it was taken out there on the extra cover boundary. And Sam Curran has gone. England are 149 for 7. Yeah, and I'm afraid
you're right,
out there
John.
in that strange kind of tube-like pavilion that they have here at the Saxton Oval. Lockie Ferguson is
that's Devil Fingers. Should be a guitarist on stage for that.
And it was Colin Monroe. Thoroughly enjoyed that catch too.
The weirdo.
Well, that's a fairly disastrous 6 balls.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid it is.
2 overs, 31 runs.
Promise.
What's
and as we know, we're now down in the territory of somewhat unproven batting capability.
Yeah, you carry on.
Messages has sent us the BCCI plan for substitutions in the IPL, which I am not going to try and get through the details of. The power player, which I presume is one nominated player that you can substitute.
Yeah, right, and it'll be right at the fucking end of a match or at the end of an innings. Presumably it'll be a batsman to start with.
Take plenty of time, bags of opportunity for some advertising to go on around.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, terrible idea.
In comes Ferguson. Mahmood plays out nicely, actually, guides it away through cover.
TC, actually.
Oh, it was TC, but it's just a single anyway.
I mean, IPL already takes, what, nearly 4 hours for a 40 over match, effectively.
It's ridiculous.
When the equivalent match in the Blast.
Well, these are taking about
2 hours
an hour and a half.
2 hours and 45 for 2 innings.
I mean, we started at 1.
Yeah.
And it's now just gone 10 past 4 or 10. Well, my watch is a bit fast, so it's probably 10 past 4.
I'm just looking at Monroe's reaction
And
to
there's
taking
2
that
overs
catch.
left.
You'll enjoy this bear when you see him. He takes it fingers up, Aussie style, throws it high, double fist pumps.
I think that's a glass of beer, isn't it?
Is it a glass of beer gesture?
I think it's a universal beer.
So you would know that.
Oh, I would do. Yeah,
you would know the international sign language. Sodi's
coming
beer.
back. Now this is interesting actually. Slower bowler. You imagine if you're going to give somebody a chance and it's Mahmood.
Well, 1 for 18 he has so far. He gets a little bit of turn there. Curran steps onto the back foot, slaps it away to the offside. They're only able to take a single.
It's this man.
Have we retired the cause?
No.
So etc.
No.
No, it's just
Knuckle has.
Knuckles retired it, okay. And this one is full and tossed up, and Mahmood, well, he needed to get more on it than he did. In the end, he was only able to push it away to mid-on and get himself a single, bring Tom Curran back onto strike.
4 balls left in the over.
England need 29 off
10 balls.
10 balls. Doable, but they're going to have a couple of big hits. Can they do it? Curran swings into this, and it's along the ground all the way to mid-wicket. Again, it's just a single. The ball is thrown in and firmly into Seifert's gloves, who's clapping his hands above his head and encouraging his fielders, who are right on their toes and quite pumped up, I think,
Yeah, I think
by
they
the
are.
thought of getting this second consecutive win after what in the end was quite comfortable, basically built on their fielding and catching. That one's up in the air. I really don't think he's got enough of it. It's plugged though. 2 fielders converged from long on and long off, and it dropped short of both of them.
There was a moment there
That
when it was
looked
coming at
an
the camera.
awful lot better than it was.
Yeah. There was a moment where you thought, oh, that's gone.
No. He definitely toe-ended it, and in a way he was fortunate that he did. And that's a wide. Surely that's a wide.
Yay!
Curran was looking for a reverse sweep. It did turn quite a lot, but it turned so far it was well outside.
It was a wide either way, wasn't it?
Well outside of those tram lines.
Wide. Armchair Cricket Podcast asked the question, why is Gregory playing ahead of Jordan? I thought Jordan played a good all-round game.
This one he has got. He's got that and some more.
Oh, shot.
That's away. That's
That's
out
gone
the ground.
a long way.
That is out the ground and on its way towards the Tasman Sea, I'm afraid. 161 for 7. Well played, Tom Curran. Boy, he launched into that.
Well, 20
cleared his feet, didn't he?
20
There's a golf
required
shot.
off 7 balls.
Well, yeah.
You see Donny do it.
It could be. But not so much maybe these days.
No, not. Well, actually, he did it fucking last year.
Well,
Or
as you
nearly
say,
did it. He had about
20
24 off 1 over in the final over to nearly.
If he could launch this one
It'd be
in
interesting.
the same way, then it's game on again. In comes Sodhi, 61 in his back, and Curran tried to clear himself space, wasn't able to, but he has crucially got the strike. So we will have 1 over left. England will require 19 from it. We think it's probably a bridge too far, but mathematically it's there, but they're going to have to go right from the off. Curran, who has just launched an absolute mammoth bludgeon out the ground, will at least have got himself the strike. Who's going to bowl it? Who do we think's going to bowl it?
Isn't it Mustachioed Newman? Possibly.
Pistachio Newman?
No.
Who's Pistachio
Mustachioed Newman, which
Oh,
is
it's-
not him. This is the old hand skipper.
What's cooking? What's
He's hurtful.
Are you looking for birds, bunny bunting? Duck is gonna hunting.
Tim Southey.
And Evil Scooters has joined us. Says, howdy.
Hello, Scoots.
Uni, for some reason, not letting me listen. Are we in Hendo rant territory yet? Well, no, because Hendo's not here.
He's not here, but he might be quietly ranting at home to himself.
To his cats.
To his cats. as
I'm
he
already over.
sits on
I'm
them.
already over being upset, and that was like.
Anyway,
10 minutes
in
ago.
comes Southey, and Curran gets himself in a terrible tangle, attempting to ramp one over Seifert and away to the backstop boundary, but he gets it sort of all in a mess of bat and foot, and it kind of just
He's
stays.
almost played,
the ball stays where it was.
Pinball sort
Well,
of.
it's probably almost a percentage shot. If you slam it through the offside, you've got a probably 50-50 chance of hitting the fielder, haven't you? And you've got to
So
get over
19
them.
off 5. I think you're going to see Saudi ball pretty full here.
Yeah,
And wide of off stump.
Full wide of off stump, although that one was speared in pretty much at yeah, it was wide of off stump.
Yeah, it was wide of off stump. They
it
got a short third
wide,
man.
wide.
Because you can't get any power in the shot, so you can only go in a certain.
No, you've got to get it off the face of the bat, and you've got to get it at a certain angle, otherwise it's just a single.
Southey in, elbows pumping, beautiful fuller ball, straight to mid off, no run.
Right, 4 sixes it is.
Well, so basically 19 off 4. You're definitely going to have to get 3 sixes. You don't have to get 4.
Well, 3 super over, aren't they? Super over.
I don't.
There is. I think there is.
Oh, I don't think they have to. I wouldn't have thought so.
Not in a match to it. It's not where.
I thought it was. Forgive me if I think when we came in really pissed on the first day, it was known as a super over.
Okay. In comes Southey, driven.
It's not as well.
Straight to that ring of fielders on the offside. The man extra cover. It's Ross Taylor. They again choose not to run.
Well, it
so the
doesn't
equation.
matter.
They did take a single. So Mahmood it is, who now is going to have to get a 6 off every ball,
and then lose. We were so close. We were on target. 180
well, no,
is quite a lot to go.
18 off 3.
Oh, there's 3 balls left.
Yeah, they got a single.
Oh, okay.
And Mahmood's on strike there.
Oh, okay.
So he's not a man renowned for blood.
Stick it in the slot, Tim. Come on.
Southey will almost certainly, as you rightly say, Bear, stick it in the slot. Mahmood will have to swing, and he plays the most perfect defensive shot back to Tim Southey, largely because he couldn't do anything else. It was just too good a ball.
Yeah, you can't
England,
blame him.
who needed to hit big 6s and 4s, have managed 3 dot balls and a single.
They were doing all right till about the 14th over, weren't they?
Yeah,
and then it went wrong. I mean, it's a long chase.
The loss of Milan really started the rot because Morgan went.
Well, no, Morgan went good, but he got out after hitting being sparkling brightly and then burning
it's
away.
really rather fallen away. Mahmood has a bit of a pull at that, but he's only able to pull it out to mid wicket.
Well,
they will take another single. Curran will have the strike. There is just the 1 ball left. England needs 17 runs from it. That is not going to happen. This game has gone the way of New Zealand again.
6 off a no ball with a free hit that goes for 6 and then 6 off the last ball.
They need snookers, I think is what we're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Perko says, isn't the desire for a tie the team with the most Englishmen in it?
Wow.
Yes. We'll invent a rule that works in our favour. As this one is lofted and plugged. It was an up and over point. They'll take 2.
No, it came up. No,
they took 2. 2 is all they would get. The game is over. 166 for 7. England have fallen short of the 180 or so that they needed. Well played, New Zealand. It was a game. It was a real game up until about 4 or 5 overs out, and then it all just seemed to fall away, didn't it?
Well, it did, but it was always a long chase, and New Zealand. I think we were sitting here going, yeah, we've got this, but you always knew that a wicket, and that's the thing about a big score, you got to carry on going, getting those big runs every over, you got to hit a boundary every over, and a wicket really takes it out of you, and it certainly took it out of England. Milan got out, and then Morgan shone brightly shortly, and then Vince got out. And once those 3 had gone, you kind of felt, this is going to be a bit too far.
This was partly the risk for England in some of the team selection. If you look at the scorecard, it's very top heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Banton 18, he was bowled by Tickner, who did quite nicely, I think. I'll give you the bowling figures in a while. Milan, who played very nicely, Yorkshire's finest. He was caught Guptill ball Sodhi, but he made 55 off 34. James Vince, when he was firing along with Milan, the world was looking pretty good and England were looking in good order. But he was caught Southey bowled to Tickner for 49. Morgan went for 18. He was caught by Munro off Santner. Billings was run out. So having had the 18, 55, 49, 18, the next wickets went for 1, 2, 0, 14 and 3, which kind of shows where it all fell off apart for England. Gregory went for a 2-ball duck, bowled by Lockie Ferguson. Sam Curran was caught Munro by Ferguson. Tom Curran was a not-out batsman, 14 off 10, helped by one enormous 6. And Saqlain Mahmood, who just is not T20.
No, and he's in at 9 as well, you know.
Bowling-wise, none for 28 for Saudi, but he bowled magnificently well at the death there to see New Zealand home. Lockie Ferguson 2 for 25. Tickner 2 for 25. 1 for 30 for Sodi. 1 for 41 for Sapna. He was really the expensive member of the group.
Wasn't
and,
for a
none
while,
for 16 from Jimmy Neesham. But New Zealand go 2-1 up in this 5-game series. And Jace, I think at the end they deserved it.
Yes, I think the difference was that their batsmen played their better innings for longer. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Grandhomme is the man of the match for his brutal innings.
Well, ultimately match-winning innings, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
That's the thing there.
We actually bowled quite well. Mahmood was the worst of England bowlers, wasn't he? And
there's some strange selection. I know that it's a developmental side.
Yeah, totally. I don't mind that, to be fair.
Some of the players,
I don't hold much store by the T20 series,
But it was odd that, given the side that they selected, and you can argue about selection, that then to give Saqib Mahmood 4 overs when he was clearly not one of the better bowlers.
And you gave Parkinson 2 as well.
That seemed odd. I would have risked Parkinson, I think.
Yeah, I think so. At least for one
so
more.
well. Yeah, I think so. Clearly,
you have movement. You have movement in the order. Anyway, it's a T20. It's shit.
But we will move on to, I think it's Napier next. If it's Friday, it must be Napier.
It is, and we have a later start. We actually get a bit of sleep.
5 a.m. start if you're in the UK.
So it's a day-nighter over there.
Yeah, basically.
Your crew today has been. You can all take a bow.
You can fly with GC.
Is to my left the wonderful. I need to call Jason Statham. Jason Hiscox. To my right, the bear, John Batham, who was a commendable debut.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Fine effort. I think he seemed to enjoy himself.
He loves it. Excellent.
He's probably wondering what bunch of alcoholic lunatics he's stumbled
that's
in
probably
to
me,
commentate with. We're a sort of
it's only one
honorary
on air,
alcoholic lunatics. And of course the long tall Steve, who has
run away.
Gone 2 miles home, probably did it in 3 strides. Just that's how tall he is. We will see you in Napier. It will be a slightly different crew, some of the same, some difference. We will mix it up. But we thank you for your company. Are there any final tweets to close on, Jace?
Just one from Messages at the moment. Let me just see
that must be read.
He said, so the Kiwis succeeded in telling England to get fucked. Send us your proper team.
Yeah, well.
Thanks all.
Thanks.
A pleasure. Thank you all. We will see you in Napier. Take care.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take large, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come. This is a cricket.